New to my channel, make sure you subscribe. You'll love this channel. This is where MAGA comes to talk. This is the most pro-Donald Trump place anywhere in America. And I broadcast live on the radio, on 6 radio stations. And when I'm on the radio, I'm live streaming here on YouTube. So we're going to get into all this stuff. There's already people on hold. If you'd like to call in, you can. Here we go. It's showtime. Oh man, what a big day today is. Welcome everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. On the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years on the radio. Okay, today is arraignment day for the greatest president ever, Donald Trump, and the deep state communist, they're working what they do. They got a lot of control over the system. They've got files on everybody, and they're working the system to try to stop President Trump from having a fair hearing in court and a fair trial. So this is the beginning of a new stage in American history where the sitting president of the United States has his top opponent arrested. I mean, it's hard to believe this even is happening. This is what happens like in Bolivia, Venezuela, the Soviet Union, Castro's Cuba. I mean, this is not the kind of thing that happens in the United States. And we're going to cover all this stuff today and take your calls at 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Also, later in the show, we're going to be joined by Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer is organizing a peaceful, emphasis on peaceful, a peaceful rally at the federal courthouse in Miami. She's going to be there with the great Carrie Lake, and she's organizing this peaceful rally in support of our president. We got a lot to cover today, not just Trump, but there's some things out there on Biden too we're going to cover. So there's a big story going on here, and they think they got Trump good here. The MAGA judge, this great MAGA judge, Aileen, who was appointed by President Trump, all of us very excited she was going to preside over this arraignment, and she could very well dismiss the charges. Well, she's not presiding over the arraignment. They're going to have a federal magistrate. A federal magistrate is not a judge. They're a magistrate, and they're not appointed by a president. But the MAGA judge will not be overseeing the arraignment. But don't you worry, guys. Don't you worry. Let me go through this article. We'll talk about it. This is in the Gateway Pundit. If you don't go to the Gateway Pundit, you should. It's a great, great news source. In fact, it's such a great source of news and information. You can't post articles from the Gateway Pundit on Facebook. Facebook has them blocked. That's how good they are. A magistrate judge, that's like credibility, right? A magistrate judge will preside over President Trump's arraignment at the federal court today in Miami, not MAGA judge Aileen. Now, these liberals have been going nuts. Well, she can't preside over this. She was appointed by Trump. Well, whatever federal judge presides over this is appointed by a president, Biden, Obama, Clinton, Bush 1, Bush 2, maybe Jimmy Carter. I don't know. So every single one of them is going to bring a political connection to it, a presidential connection, and it very well could be a judge appointed by President Trump's 2016 opponent, his 2020 opponent, or maybe a judge appointed even by the man Barack Obama, who started this whole operation against President Trump. Trump on Thursday announced he was indicted by a federal grand jury in Miami. It's a 37-count indictment, 31 counts for willful retention of national defense information. 6 others include conspiracy, false statements, etc. They got all this BS. Okay, the magistrate judge, his name is Jonathan Goodman. He's going to preside over President Trump's arraignment and bond matters today. Oh, my goodness. He's got to make bail today. Judge Aileen will still remain on the case as the lead judge, okay? So, these lefties got all excited, these never Trumpers, these rats, Republican against Trump, these rhinos were all excited when this story broke yesterday. Oh, well, they've taken the MAGA judge, the Trump, is going to have a magistrate. She's still overseeing the case. And by the way, since she's overseeing the case, if this case ever goes to trial, she'll be the presiding judge in the trial. And it's amazing when you watch the mainstream media have meltdowns that President Trump might get a fair hearing in court. That's not the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a kangaroo court, don't you know? Well, let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, it's Robin. I'm calling from Palm City, Florida.
Hey there. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to, it's not your topic as of now, but it's still an ongoing topic. Why hasn't anybody ever disclosed what they found in Biden's thousands of documents and even Pence's? And how come Pence gets off with, I didn't know they were there? Nobody gets to see what Biden had.
Yeah, no, that's the same topic. And as far as this snake, Mike Pence, why would Pence have anything classified in his house? That seems very suspect. And, with Trump, they keep telling us there's nuclear codes, there's Iran attack plans. And you're right on the money with Pence and with Biden. They don't tell us what the documents are or were or anything. In fact, the Biden documents, are they still there? Next to the vet?
I feel like Brian, I feel like they're going to tuck everything away, if not destroy it. And unfortunately, we may never have access or know what was behind it if they actually destroy some of the records.
Well, this is why I don't know about Pence, okay, but I know about Biden. The reason Biden has the documents at home, and I've talked about this before, there's been a big controversy that the media dropped. There's no visitor logs in Delaware. There's visitor logs at the White House under law. So the documents are at Biden's house in Delaware. You pay him money. You come over to the house in Delaware. There's no visitor logs, and you get to look over the documents. That's why they're there. He's selling secrets. In fact, not only is he selling secrets, when he was, the vice president, when Biden was vice president, this story came out about 3-4 months ago. The vice president has an office in the Senate building because of the president of the Senate. He had a woman of Chinese descent as his chief assistant at the vice president's office, and she was passing documents to Hunter because Hunter, since his dad was vice president, didn't have to go through the security and searches like she would or someone else. So Hunter, according to reporting, was stealing she would steal the documents and he was smuggling them out of the Senate building. Hunter, they got a whole operation going on here.
Yeah, yep, and it's been going on for a long time. And I will say,
and it's going on now.
So compromised. He's so compromised by so many nations, actually.
Oh yeah. All right. Hey, listen. Take care. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I know. It's pretty outrageous. Listen, if you're on hold, stand by. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We've got a lot of breaking things, but don't get excited, liberals, okay? The MAGA judge is still the senior judge in the case. This is just a magistrate. It's a bail hearing, okay? This is not a real judge, just a bail hearing today. The MAGA judge is still running this case. They had a little moment of excitement, but no. Don't be excited. Call us on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. Don't forget, if you ever miss a show or a portion of a show, go to our radio station website, trueoldiesfla.com. And each day, about an hour or so after the show, Mike, our board op, uploads the entire show to trueoldiesfla.com as a podcast. And maybe you've called in and you want to hear your call. You can even download the episode and pull your call off of it or whatever you want to do. And the shows are archived up there forever. trueoldiesfla.com. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-CANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good.
Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Let me see here, guys. Oh man. Hey guys, make sure that not only are you subscribed and you like the video, but click that notification bell if you guys have not already done that. You know, I'm starting to do a lot more streams from my home studio, taking calls from my studio at home. I'm going to continue to do that. And if you're subscribed, you got the notification bell clicked, you'll get a notification and you'll know when I do that, if you don't mind. Let's see, where am I?
Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, we are back. Well, our 5th annual MAGA cruise is coming up April 27th. Oh, man, and our cruises are so much fun. This is our 5th cruise. You are all invited. This is a great one. I'm looking forward to this one a lot. We're going to the ABC Islands, which is Aruba. I've always wanted to go to Aruba. We're also going to Bonaire, Curacao. We have the best shore excursions we have ever had planned on any of our cruises, and we've got shore excursions in every port, all 3 of them. And this is a great cruise. It's on the Celebrity Reflection. It leaves April 27th. And those of you that have been on our past cruises, you know, I mean, we spend a lot of time together. We have dinner together every night, onboard activities. We hang out until the bars close. You know, on the last cruise, we had this one bar we liked in one of the clubs, and they closed at 2 or 3. And then it was a week-long cruise, and then on about the 5th or 6th day, I think it was about the 5th day, we found out there was a bar that was open 24 hours at the casino that we didn't know about until like the 5th day. Oh, man. Luckily, we didn't find out about that. I would have gotten no sleep. We have the shore excursions together. It's just a great time. And if you haven't been, you may have seen my YouTube videos. It's just a wonderful... You know, we even had fun. You know, we... on the last cruise, when we went to San Juan... I was going to walk to one of the forts that were nearby, and I mentioned it to some people, and I didn't realize the entire group pretty much was going to join me, and we didn't arrange for transportation, and I'm not going to embarrass them and say their name, but one member of our group who speaks Spanish, they said they knew San Juan. They said, follow them. They got us lost. They got us lost in old San Juan on foot. And some people were oh man, and I said, no, this will be a great memory. And looking back, that was a great time, wasn't it? Oh man, was that a great time, a great day, even when we got lost at old San Juan. That's okay. That's okay. But listen, you want to make your reservations now because our cruise line Celebrity is running their summer sales event. So if you just make your reservation now, you get a very good price. Those of you that already made reservations, you call too and get everything organized. This is Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot, the travel agent who handles all of our cruises. 561-244-5779. 5779. All right, guys, join us. Okay, so if you're on hold, hang in there. Got some other stuff here I want to get into. So things are not going well for these snakes against the greatest president ever. You know, they had this deep state bum traitor William Barr on TV all weekend. Trump's toast. If even half of it's true, he's toast. And we had Barr, who's, you know, part of the Bush family, part of the deep state. Barr over the weekend, he was on with Shannon Bream on Fox News Sunday. I don't watch Fox News. I saw it on Twitter, but the news cycle was covering it and on different outlets and different platforms because Bill Barr was saying, he actually said, Trump is toast. So they like that. So Barr all of a sudden had credibility. They wanted to impeach Barr, the Democrats and the Never-Trumpers. But now, because he said Trump is toast in this case, they love him. He's a voice of credibility. He's a he's an oracle of knowledge and respectability inside the Beltway, and he should be listened to now because he's saying Trump will go to jail. But anyway, I don't know about Trump being toast. Things seem to be going pretty well for President Trump, but Barr is in a bit of trouble. That's right. Mr. Lawyer, two-time Attorney General, confessed to something. Listen to this. Trump Attorney General William Barr revealed in an interview with Fox News Sunday host Shannon Bream on Sunday that he was intimately involved in the Biden-Ukraine bribe FD 1023 investigation in the summer of 2020. Now, the FD 1023 investigation of Biden, this is the $10 million bribe that now there's tapes of, right? We're hearing about. Okay, so he was involved in that. Shannon Bream did not press Barr on why he failed to inform the American people in the months leading up to the presidential election that Joe Biden had been taking bribes from the Ukraine energy firm Burisma when he was vice president of the United States to influence U.S. policy in Ukraine and get a prosecutor who was investigating Burisma fired when his son Hunter was on the board. She didn't press him. See, Shannon Bream, that's why Fox News is losing to MSNBC now. That's why there's been an exodus of millions of viewers from Fox News, and they are no longer the number one name in news. They're the second or third name in cable news. And that's not something to be proud of, being a name in cable news these days. So, but Shannon Bream didn't press him. But he said he knew all about the bribes and did nothing. But Trump's toast? Sounds like Barr might be toast here. Sounds like Barr is involved in some type of deep state conspiracy. The apparent purpose of Bream's interview was to have Barr attack President Trump over the classified documents prosecution. The questions about the FD 1023, that's the Biden $10 million bribe document again, were an afterthought at the tail end of the interview, with Bream not mentioning that Biden himself was accused of taking a $5 million bribe, and of course Hunter got another $5 million, totaling 10. However, Barr, without naming Joe Biden, revealed the information alleging Biden was bribed was so credible that after a vetting process by the Pittsburgh U.S. Attorney's Office, it was framed out to several offices in addition to the Delaware U.S. Attorney. Barr repeated his statement made last week that the Pittsburgh U.S. Attorney's Office did not shut down the Biden bribery investigation. Barr also said it was the Pittsburgh U.S. Attorney's Office that developed the form, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he knew, this is what's important. Prior to the last election, all this information that we're just learning about now, that there's evidence of, a credible source, tapes, the guy recorded phone calls and everything else, documents. Barr knew all of this before the last election, that Joe Biden not only was dirty, but he had been taking big-time bribes, and he did nothing. He said nothing. In fact, he covered it up. And I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. So I'm asking you, if you are in law enforcement, which is the Attorney General of the United States in the past has been referred to as America's top cop and America's top law enforcement officer, if you are a law enforcement officer and you know of someone committing a major felony and you do nothing about it, are you a party to that crime? Are you involved in a cover-up conspiracy? You know, one thing the Democrats, used to love to say, they don't say this anymore. They used to say this all the time when they were talking about President Nixon and Watergate. It's not the crime that gets you in trouble. It's always the cover-up. Because Nixon committed no crime. He was just involved in raising some money to make Liddy and the others go away. So he was involved in a cover-up, not a crime. So then the cover-up, it's the cover-up. It's the word, the cover-up's worse than the crime. The cover-up gets you all the time. Now we find out that Barr, who was, I mean, this is crazy. Barr, who Trump's attorney general until he got rid of him, he fired him, but was involved in a cover-up of the $10 million bribe that Biden took from Burisma. So how did that happen? Shannon Bream, who had the opportunity to ask him, who did he consult with? Who did he tell about this? Did he report this to the president? Did he have discussions with others? Who else thought it was a good idea to cover this up? Are they? There's a vast, deep state, never-Trumper conspiracy to hide from the American people before the last election that Biden was taking bribes. And they had evidence of it. This is amazing. So it seems to me they're in trouble. They're toast. They committed a crime, maybe even treason. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our number is toll free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. A toll-free call no matter where you are listening to us. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll get to some calls in just a bit. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, and we've got a lot to cover. Today is, well, the second arraignment of the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. We'll take that break and be right back.
Making morning radio great again. I think you're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Mm. I mean, my goodness. Now, let me ask you guys your opinion on this. Did Barr commit a crime by covering up the $10 million Biden bribe? It seems to me that that's the problem. I mean, my goodness. I mean, my goodness. Barr should be the one that goes in front of a judge. By the way, this shirt is one of the shirts in my store, my MAGA merch store, which is linked up here on my channel. Absolutely. Absolutely. My goodness. I mean, and he didn't just do that without telling anyone. He had to consult with people. Who did he consult with? Right? Hey, ETW. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. I think that's a huge story. Huge story. And, you know, it's so typical. Here's Shannon Bream. Barr just dumps this bombshell that no one heard, and it was at the end of the interview. She didn't even ask about it. Just one ear out the other. And it took 2 days for it to get out because so many people have abandoned the Fox News channel. It's insane, people. I mean, we're in a whole new place right now where we've never been before. It's insane what's going on. It's so surreal. You know, they're the ones doing all the crimes, and it's Trump that's getting arraigned again. Yeah. Yeah, it was the interview where Barr said Trump's toast. He confesses to a cover-up, and Trump's toast? Give me a break. Well, Janet Reno, what she did was really bad. I mean, 9/11 happened because of Janet Reno. If you remember, Janet Reno talked Clinton into not taking out bin Laden. Oh, that's wrong. Hit the wrong keyboard. Oh, goodness, guys. Yeah, Barr's the worst. I mean, he was always with them. I mean, we always knew that. We always knew he was with them, not us, not Trump. You know.
A sniffle here and a sneeze there. Your first thought is like, uh-oh, I'm coming down with something. But did you ever think you might not be sick? You might have an allergy. Find out and have your allergies tested at any lab test now of Coral Springs or any lab test now of Boca. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located at 955 North University Drive on the southeast corner of University and Rainbowwood by the Coral Square Mall.
Yeah, I met Janet Reno once. She had feet like a NBA player. Her feet were like this big. And I remember it was awful. She was wearing sandals. Oh my goodness. You don't want to see Janet Reno's feet in sandals. Oh, it was awful. All right, we are back. It is Tuesday. They're going to arrest our president again today. Oh, man, but things are going well. We got all kinds of good news. Barr confessed to a crime, covering up for Biden's bribe. Our MAGA judge is still running the case in Miami. So a lot of good stuff today. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, this is Ronnie Big W from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing? It's just mind-blowing that this is even going down, like you said. It's ridiculous, number one, because we do have the criminal sitting in the White House. I'm just going to say it like it is, because I am an Aquarius, born on February 6th, same day as Ronald Reagan. And the truth of the matter is, if you keep attacking the same individual, there must be something wrong with everyone. You know, there's an old saying that says, birds of a feather flock together.
Yep.
They have all been compromised. And people need to look at what's really going on. Trump is really showing you who is the criminals and who will do you in. I agree with you 100%. I am so happy that our judge is presiding over the main magistrate. I really am happy about that. But we got to look at what is going on with this man because, like he said, it's not only an attack on him, but it's an attack on all of us. And if this surpasses everything, then it can be done to us just like it is done to him.
That's right. I mean, and what do you think? I mean, here we find out Barr, before the election, knew that not only did he know that Biden took the $10 million bribe, he had all this evidence that we're just learning about now, and he covered it up. Doesn't that make him a co-conspirator with Biden?
I knew he was part of it when he did what he did to Donald Trump, to his president. He did not go in to help him. He went in to conspire against him. And that is what all of them are doing. Because if you look at it, they are compromised themselves. They have been doing things they should have not been doing. And they are compromised. That's the only way you can bend to the wind. That's the way. Also, I just want to add real quickly, Ron DeSantis has been sending me his paraphernalia, his paperwork and everything to support him, and I am not. Every time it comes to my house, I shred it. So I'm going to let people out there know this is a backstabbing person, and you don't support people like that. If they were willing to do that to this man, this president, what would he do to you?
No, you're right on the money with that. Yeah, you know, the thing is, what we've come to learn is he was never with us. He was just a liar. A liar.
And that is the God honest truth. But you have a blessed day, and President Trump is going to come out of this. He's going to come out ahead, because what people need to do is start to channel their energy and send it to him.
All right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. You're right on the money. You know, President Trump gave an interview yesterday, and he said there's no crime here. All right. He's a Presidential Records Act. That's right. That's right. By the way, you know, there are many ways to listen to us, not just on our radio stations, but on your Alexa and Google. It's pretty easy. You just say, "Hey, Alexa, play True Oldies FLA." Or, "Hey, Google, play True Oldies FLA." All right, that's all you got to do. And you can listen to us on both of your devices. You know, when I'm at home, I'm listening to the radio station on Alexa. You know, on my back porch in the house, that's where I listen. So that's how to do it, guys. I stopped adjusting people's volumes on the devices when I give that out, because people were complaining. They say, "Hey, Brian, people trying to sleep in the house, and you turn me up to 12 on my device," you know. But yeah, hey, Alexa, play True Oldies FLA. That's all you got to do, and you'll get us. So listen to this. This is amazing. So obviously, all these boxes that we don't know what was in them. I mean, they could be clothes. I don't know. In Trump's bathroom, all these boxes at Mar-a-Lago. But they keep saying that Trump brought these boxes there. When is the last? Think about this. Do you think President Trump has ever moved boxes when he was moving anywhere? Do you know that his family is so wealthy? This is not a joke. When he was 2 years old, he was making $250,000 a year, because, you know, his dad had him on the payroll. That's how rich people do things for tax purposes, I guess. So he was making 6 figures a year at 2. And guys that are wealthy like that, they don't move anything. They hire movers, right? Yeah. And the idea that he actually moved these boxes is absurd, but we're finding some things out here. Listen to this. President Trump, well, you know, obviously he was set up here by a lot of people, like they always do. And listen to this. President Trump was the first president in 40 years who did not get help from the feds archiving documents and transporting documents after they left the White House. First one. Why is that? Because if they got involved and there's classified docs in there, well, they're the ones who moved them. So they wanted him, so they set him up. You know, and all this stuff, in a way, I wish, I know, isn't it crazy? Huh? In a way, I wish this could go to trial and would go to trial, so all this stuff would come out. But the problem with that is federal trials are not televised. So federal trials are not as dramatic as other trials because you don't see what's going on in the courtroom. All we'll get are some sketch artists with some cartoons and liberal people from the fake news media reporting on what they want us to think about what happened today. If federal courts had a TV camera in there and they were televised, I would welcome a trial so that all these things would get exposed. But I don't want this to go to trial. And you know, what they're talking about doing, this MAGA judge may delay the case until after the presidential election. And if Trump's the president, There you go. Boom. He'll pardon himself, and it's all over. Now, I just want to mention something unrelated because this is just a frightening thing that's happened to our country. Have any of you ever gone to the White House? I've been to the White House. And have you ever been there as a tourist or anything? You know, when you go to the White House, you dress nice and you are very respectable because, well, you're at the White House. Did you see what happened with this pride celebration that Biden had? And I'm not talking about having the rainbow flag higher than the United States flag, which is against the law. Listen to this. This is in the Post-Millennial. Transgender model and TikToker Rose Montoya celebrated Pride at the White House last week, posing in photos with Joe Biden and Jazz Jennings, who's known as the trans kid. I don't know who these people are. And what this TikToker did was go topless alongside a topless woman who has undergone the breast removal surgery. And they took photographs of themselves topless at the White House. You know, I have never seen the level of disrespect like this at the White House. I've seen some actors talk about things. There was one actor who said that he did a line of coke in the bathroom at the White House once. I did see that. When the Clintons left the White House, their staff, remember what they did? They took all the W's out of the computer keyboards in the offices because, you know, George W. was coming in the office. They removed all the W's. And the Clintons, of course, stole a bunch of stuff that they had to return, and they took it back. So there's been things like that going on. But these trans people going topless at the Pride event at the White House, the last time something like that happened was when Bill Clinton was president and he was having sex in the Oval Office. And this story, this is not about transgender. This is about anyone. If conservatives went topless at the White House, it would be wrong, okay? It's not about politics. It's about a lack of respect. And there's some places you go that you act respectable. Remember those people that went and had sex in a church in New York, and it was connected to some stunt for a radio station? Remember that a few years ago? People do insane things. You know, these social media influencers are known for doing outrageous and stupid things. But I got to tell you this, that this nudity, going topless at the Pride event at the White House over the weekend, is not getting very much media coverage. They don't want you to know about it. And it really goes to show you it's not just a lack of respect, but a lack of just a center core of morality. There's just no morality among liberals. And when Democrats are in the White House, all kinds of weird things happen. Remember when the day that American girl that was being held hostage as a sex slave by the Taliban was killed by an Obama airstrike? Remember that? Remember what Obama was doing that day? He was making a comedy video with a selfie stick. Remember that? When Democrats are in the White House, there's nothing but disgust and disrespect. It doesn't matter which one. They're all this way. And I gotta tell you, I find it disgusting. And you know, there are children there. So they went topless in front of children as well at the White House. Could you imagine if something like this happened at not just a Trump White House, but any Republican White House? That's the only thing the media would be talking about. All right, listen, we're going to take our break, the last break of this hour, come back with some more calls, and we've just scratched the surface. There's a lot going on. Plus, we're going to have Laura Loomer on the show in a little bit. I'm Brian Coragus, The Steve Kane Show. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
A good home security system has a bajillion parts. You've got your motion sensors, glass break detectors, camera lenses, signal relays, but none of that really matters if you don't have one important piece, a human being. That's right, a real human being. When a Sloman's home security advisor visits a home, they get to know the people that live there. They listen and learn. That's how they come up with the best solution to keep you safe. Yeah, you can buy all those fancy gadgets yourself, but what are all those without the humans behind the technology? Sloman's believes in their people so much, they give you the technology for free. So not only do you get a human security advisor, you'll receive a customized home security system with professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. The system includes an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3 armed doors, and a backup battery. But most importantly, the people who stand behind it. So call Sloman's at 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. Sloman's, the difference is human. Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
So, do you have hay fever?
I do have hay fever pretty
Can I
bad.
tell you what's so great for hay fever? It's the Bloomers Frozen Drinks CBD mixers. It's great for this time of the year because it's so restorative. So, Bloomers Frozen Drinks, but I'll tell you what else they have that's really amazing. They have frozen. So, if you like fine hot cookies, sangria, frozen rosé, Bloomers Frozen Mix is the best one. And it's not
Oh, goodness, guys.
pick it up there. It's prime, it's quick, it's fast. But all the Bloomers products are available on bloomersfrozendrinks.com.
I was going to say, I think I've seen them in local liquor stores too.
They are. And we have a new brand launching called Finn's Badass Bloody Mary Mix. So look for that because we're going to have our resting brunch mix on.
This sounds perfect. Once again, I'm going to go to bloomersfroze.com.
Thank you.
When you need lab work, don't waste hours.
The magistrate is overseeing the arraignment hearing today, okay? They are not overseeing the case if it goes to trial. Big difference.
Doctor's order or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor could order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit Any Lab Test Now of Boca at Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only 2 advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca and Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the...
All right, it sure is. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Do you or someone you know suffer with neuropathy? Oh, my goodness. If you do, I feel sorry for you. It's awful. I've seen it. And you know, the doctors tell you there's no treatment. Well, that's not the case. The doctors just don't know what they're talking about. And we found Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano that has a treatment for neuropathy that works. I know it works because I've seen it work with Steve Kane and many of our listeners. It's amazing. And we found Lighthouse Medical out of necessity. Steve's got all the neuropathy symptoms, every single one of them. And we had an appearance coming up, we had our cruise coming up, and he couldn't get out of bed. He was suffering so much. And we found Lighthouse Medical Center, and boom, they took care of Steve. It's amazing. His neuropathy symptoms gone. The numbness, the pain, the burning, the tingling in the hands and feet, the muscle weakness, the loss of balance, falling down, dizziness, gone. Muscle twitching, the feeling of pins and needles in the hands and feet, no feeling at all these, they're all gone. And when you call Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano, it is a free consultation if you mention you heard them on the radio. Also, no matter where you're located, they can help you. If you're out of town, they can still help you. If you can't make it to Pompano where they're at because you don't drive, because you got neuropathy, or something, that's okay. Call them, they can still help you. Online at lighthousemedicalcenter.com or give them a call directly, 754 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. Again, that's 754-222-6642. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. All right. So I don't think I have DeSantis derangement syndrome. I think he's just a snake. I think he's just a bad guy. And I'm very upset. I'm really angry with him because he betrayed us, right? He had us fooled, this guy. We thought he was MAGA. We thought he was not part of the deep state. We thought he was not part of the establishment. He's the worst kind of politician there is. He lies to your face, and he does it with babies. Remember in his first campaign, he had the TV commercial where he had his baby in the MAGA gear, the MAGA baby clothes. He was reading The Art of the Deal to them and everything else. That's like the worst kind of scummy politician you can be, what Ron DeSantis is. And he attacked President Trump on his Supreme Court nominees. And I want to play this and talk about it a little bit because it's very significant what he does here. Listen, this is Ron DeSanctimonious, Ron DeSoros. Yeah, Ron Jeb Soros. He's got all kinds of names now. Listen. Oh, hold on. They got to pot it up. There we go.
The Republicans, as you go around the country, that your judges will be like the Trump judges?
Well, actually, I would say we'll do better than that. I mean, I respect the three appointees he did, but none of those three are at the same level of Justices Thomas and Justice Alito. I think they are the gold standard, and so my
Thomas
justices will be along the lines of a Sam Alito and a Clarence Thomas. In Florida, I inherited a very liberal state Supreme Court, maybe the most liberal in the country, very activist, but I was able to replace three of the four liberals my first month in office with conservative justices. I've since been able to make a number of appointments since then. So we now have the most conservative state Supreme Court in the country. And so I think we have a really good track record on doing that. And in fact, two of my Supreme Court picks when I first year in office were elevated to the 11th Circuit by President Donald Trump.
Okay. Now, Ron DeSantis, he said the model is Clarence Thomas and Alito. I like Alito and I like Clarence Thomas. But notice he's praising two Bush appointees. Thomas was Bush 1, Alito was Bush 2. And they're good guys, so I'm not going to attack those guys. But this goes into the fact, if you read his book, which I threw in the garbage can at a gas station. I did. I threw the DeSantis autobiography in the garbage can at the gas station. I had it in the back seat of my car because I was reading some of it on the air. And I was cleaning out the car. I was down in Miami with my wife. We went to the gas station. I tossed it. My only regret about it is I didn't make a YouTube video of me throwing it away. I was so pissed, I just threw it away. I wasn't thinking, you know. But anyway, I told you he was recruited by the Bushes when he was in college. He was the captain of I always forget, was it the Harvard or Yale baseball team? And Bush was the captain of the same team. He met him. They recruited him. So he's praising both Bushes and their picks and downing Trump's picks because he's got Trump derangement and he's in with the Bushes, so he's got to kiss the butt of the Bushes. And Alito and Clarence Thomas are good guys who have done a lot of great things. And poor Clarence Thomas, what they put him through still today, and his lovely wife. However, President Trump's justices overturned Roe v. Wade. And I can think of no greater accomplishment than that. You know, whatever President Trump does in his second term, his greatest accomplishment will be overturning Roe v. Wade. There'll be no accomplishment greater than overturning Roe v. Wade because millions of lives not only are being saved, but will be saved forever throughout the course of time in this country. Every day there's a baby born because of Donald Trump. I don't know how many babies are born a day, but a lot of babies are born every day because of President Trump overturning Roe v. Wade. So I don't know what DeSantis, I mean, that's total snake-like behavior. And of course, this clip came when he was praising the Trump judges before, when he was in Congress.
Are you going to make the same kind of pledge to the Republicans as you go around the country that your judges will be like the Trump judges?
Well, actually, I would say we'll do better than that. I mean, I respect the three.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's the clip I played last time. Let me play the other one. Hold on. Which one is it? Hold on. Yeah, this is the one where he was praising Trump.
I think that Donald Trump has done a better job appointing judges to both the U.S. Supreme Court and the Appeals Court than any other president in my lifetime, including one of my heroes, Ronald Reagan.
Wow. So when he was in Congress and he was sucking up and wanted to be governor, you know, he appointed the greatest Supreme Court justices ever and the best appointments than any other president. Now, all of a sudden, Bush 1 and Bush 2, they made the best appointments ever, not Trump. That's why you can't trust this snake, Ron DeSantis. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, is there any way you can go down there and be down there with him and all that stuff going on down there?
You mean go to the federal courthouse?
Yeah, I just wondered, is there any kind of remote you can do?
I could, but I'm not going to the courthouse today.
Okay, you're not going to do that because it says you might have some.
No, because to go to the courthouse, first off, it's going to be a madhouse down there, a complete madhouse at the courthouse today, and it is on a good day, an hour each way from my house to Miami. And at that time of day, with the worst traffic, I wouldn't get home till I got to be up in the morning to do the show tomorrow. So I can't go down there, unfortunately. No, it's you know, Florida's a big place, and that's the, you know, and they're doing this. They really should have done it on the weekend. They should have opened the court on the weekend, because Miami, I got to tell you, Miami in so many ways is an embarrassment. The interstate highways down there are an embarrassment. I mean, it's awful. And the traffic during rush hour in Miami, I-95 is a parking lot. It's the worst. And to have this arraignment during the week, during rush hour, will inconvenience Miami in ways you don't understand, because they got to shut down that whole area. And I don't think people realize, that aren't from the area, what it's like. When they shut that area down, it's really going to be shut down because President Trump's going to be moving around. To do that at rush hour, if they would have opened the court on the weekend and done this over the weekend, it would have been a lot less inconvenient for tens of thousands of people. But they don't care. You know, they want to inconvenience us because this state voted for Trump.
Yeah, well, I was hoping maybe you could get down there. You were Steve could get down there.
Well, I did have an invite from some VIPs that I turned down. Somebody to hang out with someone really famous too. But I have my reasons. First off, I'll tell you a little bit. Okay, a friend of mine who's in the media. I've had several people have asked me to go down there with them, okay? And one friend of mine who's in the media wanted to carpool with me, to go down there, asked if I wanted to carpool. And I said, you know, if you go down there, there's going to be an FBI file on you, right? And they're like, oh, I didn't think about that. You know, half the people there are going to be Ray Epps types. They're going to be feds. You know, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have Laura Loomer on in a little bit, and she's going to be there, and she's organizing a peaceful protest. I would recommend people do not go. Okay. I mean, and I know Loomer doesn't like me saying, but I recommend you do not go. You know, they're always trying to set us up. It's going to be a madhouse down there. And people should not go to Miami today. They really should not go to Miami. It's not a smart idea. I would recommend everyone stay home and watch it on TV. I've got some I'm not going to tell you quite yet, maybe not ever, specifically why I'm not going. I was about to go, and then somebody told me something. I told Mike, but there was a happening. But I would recommend no one go. Not just because the traffic jam and everything else. You don't want to go. I mean, they're not just because half the people there are going to be feds. I mean, you don't know what they're going to do. These people are snakes. I mean, they're trying to outlaw the MAGA movement, and it's not smart. It's not smart to go there. It's smart to stay home.
Okay, all right. I was just wanting your advice on that. I thought.
No, not. Let me tell you. I was. I got an invite to be with, I don't want to say who, but somebody very big, and I turned it down. Somebody very, very big. Somebody everybody in this audience knows, household name, and I turned it down. It's not, it's not smart to go down there. It's not smart.
Well, be all over every net.
Watch it on TV. Do not go to the courthouse in Miami. All right? Hey, thanks for the call, Agostino. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll take our break for the top of the hour. Our number, 888-GO-KANE1. Back right after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach. WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Rogue Studio. Injured recently?
I'm not necessarily going to tell you, but I will tell you, I'm going to ask you guys, and you can let me know in the chat. I was invited to go and be with a very, very famous person that everybody knows, okay? Who do you think that very famous person was? Who do you think?
I just think that if this person is already here, they could always come up and, the mics are always open.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Who do you guys think it is? Who is the famous person? Some good names there. Not Loomer. More well-known than Loomer. Big, big, big people. I won't say, I'm not, it's not Loomer. Although I was invited with Loomer too, but there's others. But no. There's a lot of interesting names there. Interesting names. No, not Ron Jeremy. No. I will tell you this. I'm not going to say who, but I will say that the name was mentioned in the chat just now. It was not Loomer or Ron Jeremy, but the name was mentioned. Oh, I'm not going to tell you any more than that. Bruce, you're just a perv. Just a perv. Because the person may not, they really don't want everybody to know they're going to be there necessarily. No, some of these big shots don't want people to know where they're going to be. No, the name was mentioned here. Huh. I'm not going to say. No, it's a big deal. I mean, first off, there's a couple reasons why. One, the person may not want people to know that not only are they going to be there, but they got room to invite people. Okay, that's one reason. And also, when it's someone that is like very well known, you don't want to publicly tell people you turned down their invite necessarily, right? Oh, man. But I am most definitely, I have no worries about President Trump. All right, we are back. Hour number 2 has begun. I have no worries about President Trump's going to be fine. I talked about this yesterday. If you're on hold, stand by. This is so important. Friday, I was really upset Friday. Almost depressed. I was upset, and it takes a toll on you. President Trump has done nothing but good things for us all, and they keep doing these things to him. And it got to me a little bit. On Friday, I was upset. And then I watched President Trump in Georgia on Saturday speak. Then I watched him in North Carolina. And I watched the whole speeches in their entirety. I watched it all day. And I saw President Trump, and all my worries were taken away. Did he look worried? In fact, he did an interview yesterday, and they asked him about that. He said, no. He says, Presidential Records Act, nothing to worry about. Yeah. And he's the one that's facing jail by these snakes that are undermining him. So, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. I also think about this, and then we'll go to the calls. They've been going after President Trump for 7 years. They've had more things. They had Mueller, the hoaxes, the impeachments. The list goes on. Skanky, Dan, all that stuff. They never got him on anything because he never did anything wrong. And I talked about this on my podcast last night. One of the most amazing things that the left have discovered, and these uniparty Republican establishment people have discovered about Donald Trump, is that he's a squeaky clean Marine. They thought that everyone who is rich and successful, like President Trump, is scummy, like they are. They think everyone who's rich, famous, and successful are like the Kennedys or like the Bidens. And the fact that they have not even been able to find a moral crime against him, it's very frustrating to them. It really says a lot about the type of people they are. And I don't have a worry in the world about any of this stuff. All right, let's take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
First thing I want to say, I'm glad you're not going. I agree. I think it's going to be a setup there. They try to get the violence.
Well, listen, people that are, and this is important, people that are in public positions should tell people not to go there, okay? Tell people not to go there. That's what they want you to do. You don't want to, fall into their hands. And I'm telling people, I'm recommending, people shouldn't go to Miami any day of the week during rush hour. You know that. But especially today, don't go. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. My first thought was I was going to take the Bright Line and go down there, because it goes right. It's a great thing down to No, it's not a good idea.
Yeah, not a good idea. They're trying to pull another January.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say the other thing. I'm disappointed that this big judge is appointing a magistrate to do the dirty work. I was hoping that this morning she was going to say, I reviewed everything and I'm dismissing this case. There's no merit.
Well, I was hoping that the judge would dismiss the case today. I was hoping for that. But the magistrate, this might be a good thing. This might end up being a good thing. Because now the judge, by the way, the Trump-appointed judge, she's still the judge in charge. If this gets to trial, she'll be overseeing it. This is just like a arraignment, like a bail hearing. Can you believe our president's going to get bail? What the heck? Give me a break. Give me a break. But to step away and let the magistrate handle that part gives her a little more credibility. It takes some of the attack away that the left have been making against her.
I know, but the heck with the left.
What are they supposed to do? Say, okay, this judge can't oversee it. She was appointed by Trump. Let's let Obama, the Obama-appointed judge, Obama who authorized the spying on Trump Tower, Okay, let's allow the appointee of the president that actually started all this, the spying on Trump, oversee it. Or how about this? Let's let a Biden-appointed judge, who's going to be running against Trump, is right now running against Trump. Let's let a Biden judge, or let's let a Clinton-appointed judge, who was appointed by the man whose wife lost to President Trump. Or how about this? Let's let one of the Bush-appointed judges oversee it that voted for Biden and voted for him. I mean, give me a break. Where are they going to find a judge that doesn't have a political connection to this case? Why is the Trump appointee? Why are they biased, but the Obama, Biden, Clinton, Bush appointees are not?
For sure, if this is Biden going in, they would have immediately canceled the case. Unfortunately, MAGA people are trying to do the right thing, and unfortunately, the right thing today would be to just drop the case. But she's trying to show that she's not interfering in the case because of politics.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Doug, all right. I appreciate the call. Thanks, Doug, for the call. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea, what's up?
I have just a couple of things that completely do not add up to me about this whole indictment. So, if they're indicting him because they said that he wasn't supposed to take these files, then why were the National Archives there twice and did nothing?
Well, wait a minute. First off, we don't even know what's in these boxes. I saw the ones in the bathroom, and on one of the boxes it says master bathroom. But I've seen photographs, still photos of the boxes being taken out of the White House, right, on Inauguration Day. They were being taken out by people from the archives. So the archives people did this, right? I didn't see President Trump carrying any boxes. I didn't see Melania carrying any boxes. I see people that work for the archives carrying the box. Greg Kelly on Newsmax has been showing these photos for months.
But Brian, they went to Mar-a-Lago either 2 or 3 times. So why did they go there? Why did the Secret Service ask him to secure them, and he had locks installed?
Mm-hmm.
None of this makes sense. But
it does make sense. It does make sense. He's 61 points right now in the polls. He's double digits against his closest rival, Ron DeSantis. Think about this. I am closer in the polls to Ron DeSantis than Ron DeSantis is to Trump. So are you. Think about that.
Wow.
Think about that. And we're not running. So he's not even really an opponent. So they're trying to stop the front runner. He's the front runner.
Right.
I mean, he's even beating Biden in all the polls.
Well, I got nothing to say about that. But can I talk about Joe Biden for a second?
Mm-hmm.
That whole LGBTQ celebration.
The nude thing?
Joe Biden let something slip that nobody's kind of picked up on yet. Joe Biden gasped about his LGBTQ trans community. You know what he called them? Jesters, not transgenders.
Transgesters?
He called them transgesters and caught himself and corrected it the next time he said it.
Yeah.
I got news for you. Just players on the chessboard, you're just a means to an end.
Yeah. By the way, it was reported over the weekend that Tucker Carlson's going to drop his 3rd show today, and it's going to be about this indictment. I haven't heard an update. I hope it does. He got a cease and desist letter from Fox yesterday telling him to cease and desist with that show, and I think he's going to ignore it.
Well,
I'd like to see Tucker do a sit-down one-on-one with President Trump over just the indictment stuff.
on Twitter. Yeah, live stream.
It'll go better than that Twitter Spaces with Ron DeSanctimonious there.
Before I jump, I want to put you on to this video of President Trump that I think it's like 17 years old that just reveals like what a good sport he is. When you get off the air, and all your listeners, when you get off the air, Google President Trump Green Acres. He did.
Okay. Oh, and Green Acres? Yeah, I've seen that. I remember that. It's very funny. I've seen that. It's hilarious. Yeah. Hey, listen, I got to run, Andrea. But I'll look it up. It's pretty funny. Don't do that, though, till after I go off the air, guys, okay? We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hello, this is Mike McFarlane.
Oh, my goodness, guys.
30 years at the same location. And
You know,
great deals and
how many of you in the chat agree with me and feel like I do that you were upset, you were worried, a little depressed, and then you saw President Trump at the speeches over the weekend and you felt fine? I did. I mean, it was amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. Just like, phew.
What do you think about Biden telling a lot of U.S. citizens and people to leave Taiwan?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. He's making way.
Do you think there's going to be some sort of move soon from China?
Maybe. He must have something going on. He must know something.
I'm just saying, no, he's an inside source, so he knows something.
Desmond says, do I believe all the blank you were saying? Yes. I believe everything I'm saying. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is the most pro-MAGA Donald Trump place anywhere on the planet. Oh, yeah. Totally took all the worry away from me. I was really worried. I don't know, worried. I was just pissed. If he's not worried, why should we be? Right? All right, guys, here we go. Oh, one more commercial. If you're on hold, hang in there. By the way, guys, you want to make sure that you click on live chat when you're in there.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldie.
Indeed, I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. This is where MAGA comes to talk, and that's... What's that, Steve? I heard you. You're on the air. I hit the dump button because I didn't hear what you said. I don't know if that was okay. Okay. Well, you never know with you. Hey there. Now, I want to, before we get back to this incredible world we're living in, where this banana republic, I want to talk about my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton. You know, Dr. Appleton he's basically renovated my house. My house is in the middle of being renovated by me. But it's being made possible because Dr. Appleton rid me of all the pain I was having. And in a way, I kind of miss that excuse. Because now when my wife tells me to do something around the house, I got to do it. I don't have an excuse because I'm not in pain anymore. And I'm screaming in a microphone every day telling people that I'm pain-free. But Dr. Appleton's laser away pain treatment works on so many different types of pain. There's no injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. He rid me of arthritis pain, which was a miracle. That arthritis pain was brutal. It was the kind of pain, it hurt so bad, it just made me go to sleep. My skateboard accident. I've had problems with my right knee for years from my longboard skateboard accident I had, and my shoulder. Oh, he rid me of my shoulder pain too. My knee, it's amazing. And now I can do so many things I couldn't do before. You can do the same, all right? Be rid of pain. Pain is not just a part of growing old, Okay? You don't have to go see Dr. Appleton. By the way, it's a free consultation if you mention you heard him on the radio. Appointments are not necessary and walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. Find him online at appletonchiro.com or give him a call at 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Well, Steve, the left got excited for a minute, these Trump haters, but Trump's okay. The MAGA judge did not get tossed from the case, as was reported.
Yeah, I was up all night with that.
Yeah, well, you know.
Last call I got
Was for me.
yesterday was from you. And
Yeah.
told me the MAGA judge had been removed.
Yes.
I was up all night.
Well, the fake news got so excited. No. The MAGA judge is still on the case. Today for the there's an arraignment, which, why President Trump has to go through an arraignment is beyond me. But anyway, she's not doing the arraignment. A magistrate is handling the arraignment, but she's still in charge of the case. If this gets to trial, she'll be the trial judge. So it's okay. Everything's okay. Sorry, CNN, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, and all the rest, and Karl Rove and all those other snakes, Pence, DeSantis. Everything's fine. We still have our MAGA judge in charge. So nothing to worry about, people. Oh, my goodness.
Put a fine point on it. Who is it that is going to make the
Well,
as to whether it goes to trial or not?
well, I would imagine that'd be the judge, the main judge, our MAGA judge. This guy today is just a magistrate. A magistrate is not a federal judge. They don't have a presidential appointment, and they're just handling the arraignment. Okay, so that's nothing. Arraignments, everyone says there's never been anything eventful in an arraignment. Although there was one arraignment in the local courts with someone that worked at another radio station with us that got interesting. But, yeah, oh my goodness. But no, it's going to be a madhouse at the courthouse. But don't worry.
Courthouse at the courthouse.
I just made that up. But I'm recommending people. That's right. But I'm recommending people do not go to the courthouse today. You really don't want to go to the courthouse today. And it's important that we tell people that. It's going to be crazy there, and there's going to be a lot of people. You're not going to get close. You're going to be stuck in traffic. Even if you take one of the trains, it's going to be a mess.
Place to be.
No, it's not. Our number is 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Now, there was a big breaking news story today. I want to recap this because it's big. This jerk Barr that Trump fired was on with Shannon Bream on Fox News Sunday over the weekend, and he said, if half of these things are true, Trump is toast. And the media ran with that all day yesterday. Trump is toast. Barr says Trump is toast. And remember, these Trump haters wanted to impeach Barr. But now he's the voice of credibility, right? Because he said something they like. Well, in the end of that interview, Barr did something which may be a confession to a conspiracy. Barr said in that Fox News interview prior to the election, when he was Attorney General, he was briefed and knew of the Biden $10 million bribe from Burisma, and that this form that we have and this witness, all this stuff we're hearing about now, he knew about that then, and he sat on it. And I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but sitting on it, to me, sounds like covering it up. And the Democrats have said my entire life, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up. The cover-up's worse than the crime.
And the Watergate.
Well, they like it when they're talking about Nixon, but it seems to me that Barr said it on Fox. He knew about all this stuff, including the form. Before the election. He was on Fox News Sunday, this weekend, and he said when he was Attorney General before the election, before Trump fired him, he knew he had all the evidence that we're now hearing about the Biden bribe.
Has there been any discussion of this?
No, in fact, Shannon Bream, he told Shannon Bream, it was the end of the interview, and she didn't even ask him a follow-up. Well, why didn't you tell anybody? Why did you cover it up? Why not? Nothing. She just ended the interview. She didn't even ask him about it. And I brought it up in the last hour, and I'm bringing it up again, and I hope others do.
Commonly discussed, you're saying.
Well, unless you consider us uncommon, I think we're very,
Well, no, it's good to be uncommon.
Well, that's correct. We're breaking news. To me, it's huge because it tells me that Barr knew, he had evidence that Biden had taken this $10 million bribe from Burisma, and he sat on it. He covered it up prior to the election. And isn't it, when you cover up a crime, does that make you a co-conspirator of a crime? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a cop, but that seems kind of like criminal. If I'm a law enforcement officer, which the Attorney General is, right?
The same as.
Well, who says he didn't just pursue it? When you're the Attorney General and you get hey, former Vice President Joe Biden took a $10 million bribe. Here's the evidence. We've got the witness. This form we've investigated. He did it. It's not that you're not pursuing it. You're having discussions with people. We don't know who, but you're having discussions with people deciding to not pursue it, to cover it up. That makes you a co-conspirator. Steve, if you learn about a bank robbery and you're a cop, which the Attorney General's a cop, top cop in America, if you know about a bank robbery and you don't pursue it, you've got to be part of it. Steve, no, you've got to be part of a cover-up, and a cover-up is criminal. Nixon didn't break into the Watergate.
Part of an investigation.
Well, he may say that, but, guilty people, criminals say all kinds of things. Rarely do they say, I did it, or I'm guilty. So, no, I'm sorry. It seems to me Barr's the one who's toast. Not the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. I mean, I couldn't believe he dropped that. And it took a day for me to find out about it because I'm not watching Fox. No one's watching Fox. Even when I was watching Fox, I wasn't watching Shannon Bream on Fox News Sunday, even when I was watching Fox. But the exodus at Fox took a day, now we're 2 days, 2-day delay to get the story out. All right, we'll take our break. We'll be back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. The greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s coming up this morning. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday. It's going to be a scorcher out there today with highs into the low 90s, touching 93 degrees. Plenty of sunshine throughout, and then just some isolated and scattered storms later on this afternoon, mainly focused west of the Turnpike. I'm WPEF 25 First Warning Meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Crash just no blocking the right shoulder along I-95 and northbound on North Avenue North. There's no stop at all. We approach back from 6th Avenue.
What?
I-95 and northbound.
Okay.
Beach in the Boca, we're seeing the usual build-up stare now. The turnpike is still full speed to Boca from the Jupiter. Then we start a crash in Mangonia Park along 45th Street just west of Australian Avenue. This one is sponsored by STEM. As the weather calls for rain, the rain calls for mosquitoes. Keeping your orbit STEM. STEM is powered by active ingredients found in plants and help mosquitoes safely and effectively use as directed. STEM is rooted in nature and optimized by science. That's traffic on Chris Moore.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. This
Oh,
Sunday,
yeah.
Dad to a special day with great food and fun at PBKC.
That's what I was trying to pull up. It had the website. I wasn't sure how to pull up the Comrex. Oh, there it is. Is that it? Oh, okay.
Plus, the paddock is featuring 20% off the check on Father's Day, June 18th. PBKC's your entertainment destination. For more information, go to pbkennelclub.com.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has a great idea. I'm going to talk about this when we get back. I was trying to get a hold of Steve during the break to tell him something. I can't, and we're at different locations, and I can't get a hold of him. I'm trying to call. I tried to call. Now I'm texting. I'm not getting a response. Yeah, I can't. I got to talk to Steve during the break. I can't get a hold of him. So, and I'll tell him I'm trying to get a hold of him, but there's some. I can't tell him what I'm trying to get a hold of him about on the air. It drives him nuts.
Are you a business owner? Are you interested in growing your bottom line? Then it's time to join the Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce with members from Jupiter to Miami. You can mingle at their monthly breakfast or after-hours network. Join a leads group. Learn something new at a masterclass or attend one of 3 women's events. There are over 300 events to choose from, including one for young professionals. Sound interesting? Call Allison or check out bocachamber.com. There is a 95% business tax deduction if you join before the end of the year.
This is Steve Can. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside, everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show.
Celebrate.
All right, I was trying to get a hold of you during the break, Steve, without success. I mean, oh well, you know, I can't. There's things we can. Well, there's things we can't talk about on the air. I was trying to communicate off the air without success. So maybe we'll have luck during the next break. All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back, guys. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. Yeah, no, listen. You look at everything they've done to President Trump all these years. Not only has he beaten them, but he's come out stronger and more popular. I mean, the latest poll has him at 61%. The highest ever, right? 61%. You know, and, you know, this whole thing of, this will sound like I'm joking, but I'm not. I hate going to Miami. I hate going to Miami, especially, you know, my wife has doctors in Miami, and it's very difficult. We always try to time the appointments so we are out of there before rush hour, because when you're in rush hour, the roads in Miami are about 40 years out of date. And and I always feel like I-95, which is just a big rundown bridge down there, is going to collapse on me. But to have President Trump come to the courthouse at 3 in the afternoon and then leave at whatever time they're done, it's going to be more disruptive than what they did in New York City.
It's a weird choice. Why would they, even if we're just focusing on the time of day,
Yeah.
it's weird.
It is. And I think it's to taint the jury pool, that people are going to be so ticked off. People are already ticked off on a normal day during rush hour in Miami. And Miami rush hour begins early, begins very early. It's awful. If I drive, yeah.
It will be a happening.
Yeah.
Can't tell which way people could be annoyed.
No, they'll be annoyed by it. And Steve, he's staying at Doral. He's got to travel from Doral to the courthouse, which is in downtown Miami. Not only will 95 be shut down, the Turnpike, 395, 195. I mean, my goodness, the Golden Glades. Oh my! That's where the Turnpike turns into I-95. They're trying to taint the jury pool. People are going to be pissed. The shutdowns down there are going to be worse than New York, because New York, they have a better public transportation system than we have in Florida, right? We don't really. I know they have some things down there, but it's basically for the homeless. The Metro Rail and all that stuff is for homeless people. You don't want to really ride that stuff. It's going to be a mess. But I'll tell you this: tonight, when President Trump addresses the nation from New Jersey, I mean, that's amazing. He says he's going to go back to New Jersey and address the nation tonight. That's amazing. It's really amazing. I don't know what's going on with lawyers, but I do know this. I've always been a fan of true crime, even before it was a thing. True crime is very popular now. I was always interested in it. I know you were too, Steve. I have never heard in my life of any criminal case of any kind where the attorneys had to violate attorney-client privilege and testify against their client. I've never heard of that before, except with Trump. And President Trump, from the beginning with this Mueller witch hunt, has always had difficulty getting top attorneys that have expertise in this and know the...
From what I surmise, watching what's going on now, I mean, he's a difficult client.
Nah, he's not a difficult client. He's not a difficult client. Who says that? Karl Rove. Steve, this is the problem, okay? There's two things they do, okay, to stop Trump from getting top-tier representation. One, they keep calling his attorneys in to testify to grand juries. Attorneys, who's going to trust them in the future? Would you want to go to an attorney who spilled their beans about a previous client? When he was dealing with all this Mueller BS, he couldn't get the top firms to handle him because the Washington insiders say if you represent Trump, you're not going to get any more D.C. business. Yeah, exactly. So they don't take the case. Look at these J6 people in the D.C. Gitmo. I've seen many of their attorneys interviewed on Newsmax over the last couple years. For the J6 defendants, they're nice guys, but they're not top-tier Washington-type attorneys that know the inner workings of this. They're all friends up there. They're you can tell by their suits. They don't have the expensive, fancy suits. They're like me. They go to the Men's Warehouse for their suits, right? And nothing against Men's Warehouse. My suits I get from the Men's Warehouse, sometimes Marshalls, I got some stuff. but I'm not a top-tier attorney in a major national case, right? And none of the MAGA people, including President Trump, have been able to get that top-tier dream team-like representation because of the harassment that the lawyers that you would go to in such a case have gone through in the past. So his difficulty finding lawyers has nothing to do with him being I do not think he's a difficult client. Isn't he the best kind of client, Steve? He's innocent, and they keep coming after him, so it's a lot of billing hours.
I don't think this is about billing hours.
You make a lot of money working for Trump as a lawyer.
I think it's a primary concern. I think there are things that are worth more than money, and I would suggest that one of those things is the exposure that
That's right.
brings with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but you don't want the exposure that you're an attorney and you were called in front of a grand jury and you violated attorney-client privilege in a grand jury, which has happened. You know, it started when they broke, you know, Michael Cohen's a sleazeball, but when they broke into Michael Cohen's office on a fishing expedition, which they found nothing on Trump, they found a lot on Cohen, but I've never heard of the government breaking into a lawyer's office before. And I got news for you. All lawyers that are criminal defense lawyers are scummy people. Almost every single one of them. Criminal defense lawyers are scum. They associate. Well, he's not a criminal lawyer. He's a elder law attorney. That's different. But criminal defense attorneys are all sleazeballs. They deal with criminals. They all have all kinds of weird ways that they're getting paid because they're getting paid by criminals who don't want to show money and things like this. That's why Cohen had all those tokens and everything in his office. Very strange stuff going on. But I've never heard of them breaking into an attorney's office before. I've heard them breaking into people's offices that they were charging, but never the attorneys. Where everything with Trump that they've done, they've gone over the line so many times, they still haven't been able to get him. And they don't say this anymore. But they used to say this all the time. But you haven't heard this in a long time. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. And that's a statement that most people thought was a true statement until Trump. 7 years of investigations by the government, they haven't found one thing. And they don't have anything this time. And I don't buy this story that he's a difficult client. I know they're saying all these things. He's a difficult client. He's all of these things. No, I think it's hard for him to find attorneys because of these other things I was talking about.
I think top lawyers, and that's what we're hopefully talking about, top tier lawyers, I think they like to be in control of the case where they're representing the client, and that the client will take their judgment and do what they tell them to do. And if the client is going to, you know, take everything they suggest and disregard it, I don't think most lawyers find that.
Well, I don't know that Trump has done that. I haven't heard any. I haven't heard any evidence that he's done that.
I mean, I have heard because I watch TV all day.
Yeah.
I have no life. But I've heard it said on some of the television companies.
Yeah.
And it was an exact quote that Trump is a difficult client, and I can see that. I mean, he's a man who wants to get his way, and it usually turns out pretty well.
I think attorneys are intimidated by the establishment to not. I remember very specific. I remember very specifically, I can't remember the lawyers now, but during the Mueller investigation, there was a top firm. He couldn't get it. You know, you got to have a top Washington insider firm because they're friends with the federal prosecutors and the attorney general. He couldn't get that. He had to get outside Beltway counsel because they tell them if you represent Trump, your firm's going to get cut off from business. So, well, what I'm telling you is President Trump has never been able to get adequate counsel on any of his cases. And the fact that the judge in the case is a judge that he appointed is the closest he has come to getting a fair hearing and this whole stuff. Yeah, it's so important for him to have this judge that he appointed. It's still, he shouldn't be there, and there's all kinds of other problems. But it's the closest he's gotten to a fair hearing in court to have a judge he appointed overseeing the case. And by the way, she's still in charge of the case. This is just a hearing today for the arraignment. The magistrate will not be overseeing a trial. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take a break and be back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
You know, a good home security system has a bajillion parts. You got your motion sensors, blast break detectors, camera lenses, signal relays, but none of that really matters if you don't have one important piece, a human being. That's right, a real human being. When a slowman this home security advisor visits a home, they get to know the people that live there. They listen and learn. That's how they come up with the best solution to keep you safe. Yeah, you can buy all those fancy gadgets yourself, but what good are they without the humans behind the technology? Sloman's believes in their people so much, they give you the technology for free. So, not only do you get a
You there? Yeah, I wanted to do that interview. I was going to do it earlier, but you came on early. I was going to do it at 7:15. I wanted to do it coming out of this. All right, so it's okay, and then we'll go back. Okay, all right. All right, we're going to have Loomer on after the break. Laura Loomer.
But most importantly, the people who stand behind it. So call Sloman's at 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. Sloman's, the difference is human.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Have you been told that you have bone on bone or need a knee replacement? Have you been told that you have osteoarthritis?
Yeah, Laura Loomer after the break.
Come see us at Lighthouse Medical Center. We have non-surgical solutions that include rehab and injections that can prevent you from having to have surgery or prolong the surgery. We've been in practice for 75 years in South Florida.
On the line, we have
754-222-6642. That's 754-222-6642.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us, on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Aileen.
All right, last commercial. Then we'll be back with Laura Loomer.
My Pillow 2.0 that we ordered with Kane the other day to buy one get one free, and they're our first My Pillows.
If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is one of my favorite shirts. 0% liberal. This is in my store with, you know. One thing I like about this shirt is most liberals are too stupid to get it, right? They really stare at it. It takes them a while to figure it out.
716-4879. Promo code KANE.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right, on the line we have Laura Loomer. Oh man, Laura Loomer, I'm surprised to be talking to you. I saw you confront Comey the other day. I thought you'd be in the DC Gitmo by now.
Yeah, you know they're trying to come after me, but no, we did successfully confront James Comey, and I say we because after I confronted Comey at his book signing in Illinois, you know, it was a funny story there for a wedding. I was supposed to be a maid of honor, and then we see that Comey was in town, and we went the day after the wedding and confronted him, and then it inspired other people to use their voices and confront this criminal FBI director who's now this wannabe detective crime novelist. I mean, what is the criminal FBI director doing getting a book deal to write, you know, crime fantasies? Kind of crazy. But he ended up getting confronted in Austin, Texas, and Seattle, and other places by patriots who were inspired by my video.
Well, one of the best things President Trump did was fire Comey. Now listen, they're trying to put our president in prison, and he is going to be arraigned at the federal courthouse in Miami. You've organized a peaceful demonstration of support with the president. I know everyone is showing up. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What to expect, and are there going to be any notable people there?
Yeah, so today at the courthouse, President Trump is expected to arrive, and that's going to be taking place all day long. The president will be inside the courthouse at about 3 p.m. from what's been reported. But from 10 a.m. Eastern all the way till the evening, really until the evening newscasts are done, I've organized a peaceful rally, and I'm calling it a rally as opposed to a protest because we are rallying in support of President Donald Trump. And, you know, after January 6th, so many people in our country have been silenced and intimidated into not exercising their God-given First Amendment rights. And this is really sad. This is a side effect of a weaponized authoritarian regime that we currently find ourselves living under. Joe Biden is trying to jail the most formidable GOP candidate on the ballot. Of course, I'm talking about Donald Trump. They're trying to jail political opposition in this country. And so this is for people who want to be peaceful, okay? Nobody's instigating violence. Nobody's calling for acts of violence. Nobody is to go inside the courthouse. This is a peaceful, legal rally in support of Donald Trump for people who want to show their support for President Trump, who is going to be turning 77 years old tomorrow. I mean, it's just so sad that he has to spend his last day as a 76-year-old man being harassed by our government. And, I condemn acts of violence, which is why nobody involved in the organizing of this rally is promoting violence because we're peaceful.
You know what they've done? It started with Chandler Comey, but what they've been doing the last few years is they're trying to declare MAGA to be a hate group and a domestic terrorist organization so that we can't meet in groups of more than 2 or 3. And luckily, they've not been, since this indictment came down, President Trump is beating DeSantis by even more than he was before the indictment. You posted a photograph of that snake Benedict Arnold, Ron DeSantis, on Twitter over the weekend. He was given a speech in Oklahoma, a friendly crowd. The Creek governor was endorsing him, and he was soaking. It looked like he was in a wet T-shirt contest. His shirt was soaking wet. What was going on with that?
That's an image I need to get out of my head, Brian. A wet T-shirt contest with Ron DeSantis. Did he win? I don't know,
Yeah.
But listen, yes, it was disgusting. And apparently there were medical emergencies. People I know who were in attendance said that it was so hot, they didn't have AC, that people were actually collapsing.
Yeah.
And apparently the venue was so hot that you can see this photo of Ron DeSantis. It looks like a wet T-shirt contest. It looks like somebody hosed him down with a hose. But it's great to hear you finally call him a Benedict Arnold, because I remember months ago, really, because I was one of the first to really start exposing Ron DeSantis and call him out for illegally campaigning for president in violation of state and federal election laws. But look, this guy is so dirty. Ron DeSantis the other day tweets out, oh, well, we have this two-tiered justice system, saying the obvious. Okay, yeah, we all know there's a two-tiered system. And then he ends the tweet by saying, the DeSantis administration will clear house at the DOJ or put an end to the weaponized government. So instead of standing with President Trump, which is what a decent person would do, Ron DeSantis is being a political opportunist, and he's trying to campaign off of the political persecution of Donald Trump and his supporters.
Yeah.
So I think it's awful. I think it's terrible that regardless of what happens, we're still going to be stuck with Governor Ron DeSantis as our governor till 2027 officially.
That's right.
And he really has betrayed people. And adding on to what you just said too, it's so true, Brian. They are trying to designate us as terrorists. I got a phone call from the Washington Post yesterday asking me for comment because apparently the Department of Homeland Security put me in their advisory, I guess, for terror watch list. I don't know. Yes, apparently there's this advisory floating around police departments and DHS in Miami, and they used my tweet inside their advisory about this rally that's taking place. And what? So I'm a terrorist, or I'm a national security threat for simply wearing a Trump T-shirt and a MAGA hat and rallying people on a bullhorn in support of President Trump. It's just so ridiculous that this is what they're wasting their time and their money doing. You have rising crime in Florida, actual terrorist activity, human trafficking, drug trafficking in Miami, and a bunch of Trump supporters are the biggest priority for DHS.
Do you know if you're going to be able to fly? Are you on a watch list where you can't get on an airplane?
No, I'm sure. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sure it's fine. It's just they put this in one of their advisories, like attention, like they do all the time whenever there's rallies. The DHS has these very hyper-partisan bulletins, and I'm sure you've seen some of the insane bulletins they've been pushing out in these DHS advisories. Just a few weeks ago, they said using language like based and red pilled was a sign that you might be an ultra MAGA white supremacist terrorist. So
Jewish white supremacist. I never heard of a Jewish white supremacist Nazi before, but.
And also, also, too, I don't even have a weapon. So, not that I've ever incited violence, but, these people are such bad faith actors because after I confronted Comey the first time several years ago, I found myself illegally red flagged, which is something we discussed on your radio show when I was running for Congress, and nobody ever told me about it. So it's not even like I have a weapon. I'm not a violent person, and I'm not inciting violence, and I'm condemning acts of violence, and this is a peaceful rally. But these people clearly know that I'm in that secret FBI NICS database, which was an act of political targeting in itself. So they try to violate your rights. They actually do violate your rights, and then they try to make it seem like you're some big bad actor or scary person that needs to be monitored when they know that you can't do anymore.
Well, one of the problems President Trump has is that he went up like you've done against Comey. We know he fired Comey. You embarrassed Comey at that book signing. And when you go against Comey, you're on the list. I mean, that's obvious what's going on here.
That's what happened. The first time I ever confronted Comey, they put me in this list, and no one ever told me. I was never notified.
Now, this arraignment in Miami, I know if Carrie Lake were the governor of Florida, she'd be there with President Trump. I don't expect to see DeSantis
She's
there.
going to be there. Carrie's going to be there. So I've been texting back and forth with Carrie Lake, and Carrie Lake is going to be there. So Carrie and her crew are going to be rallying in support of President Trump. She's publicly said it, and she is definitely going to be there. I doubt Ron DeSantis will be there because I think that he finds the weaponized government and the political persecution of Trump and his supporters to be politically expedient. I think that Ron DeSantis is enjoying this very much.
Well, he's enjoying it now, but in the end, it's going to be over. I mean, the latest poll in Florida has President Trump 28 points ahead of DeSantis. If he can't win the state he's governor of, he's done. I just don't think he's aware enough to realize how unpopular he is.
Well, he's done, hopefully. I mean, look, in Florida, you have 2 terms as governors, and then after that, from my understanding, you're able to term yourself out for 1 term and then run again. So I don't even see how Ron DeSantis.
I'm not sure about that. I have never heard that before, where you can get a 3rd term. I would love him to run.
No, you have to take a break. So you have your 2 terms, and then there would have to be another governor in between the periods.
He is unelectable forever. Now,
I agree. Thank God, because I can't stand him.
You were right about him. I didn't believe it. He had full. Now, one thing I'm concerned about with this arraignment, when they did this Bragg Soros business in New York with Trump, they didn't get what they wanted, which was a mugshot. What do you think the chances are that they'll get a mugshot of President Trump after this Miami arraignment?
I don't know, but I hope they do get a mugshot. You know why?
Really?
Because then everybody's going to want to buy their Donald Trump mugs with his mugshot on it. I mean, the campaign could monetize the hell out of a Donald Trump mugshot. So I hope that they do take it that far and end up giving President Trump a mugshot. It would be terrible, but at the same time, it's going to backfire gloriously, just like everything else is. He's going to raise millions of dollars off of this. It's going to energize people. They thought that last time they arrested him that his poll numbers were going to plummet. He shot up in the polls. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So I dare them. I hope they do have the audacity to handcuff him and give him a mugshot, because it's only going to piss people off even more, to the point that they're going to come out to the polls. They're going to push independents and even Democrats to come out and vote for President Trump, and then he'll be able to have some very nice, lucrative merchandise to support his campaign and legal fees.
Well, if you out there in the listening audience happen to be in front of the courthouse in Miami supporting our president, look for Laura Loomer. You can also find her on Twitter. All right, Laura Loomer, be safe, and hopefully Homeland Security doesn't get you at the airport.
Yeah, and if anybody out there is listening, because I know your show is very popular and it's all over South Florida, people are going to be outside of the federal courthouse in Miami from 10 a.m. till probably, I'd imagine there's probably going to be people there all night, but at least until 5 o'clock at night, since President Trump will probably be leaving sometime between 4 or 5 o'clock. But if you want to come on out, even if it's just for 20 minutes, come on out, keep it peaceful, keep it legal, bring your Trump shirts and your Trump flags, and hope to see you all there.
All right, Laura Loomer, we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks.
All right, take care.
All right, now we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. If you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve is here.
Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1, 888-465-2631. Back after this.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3.
Yeah, I interviewed her yesterday because she was in California flying back home. She lives in Florida, so that's why that was recorded and not live. Normally we would do it live. Okay. Unbelievable. Let's see. Welcome. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And everyone like the video. Let me know in the chat, are you at all worried that President Trump's going to run into trouble with this case? I have zero worries. Zero worries. And when we get back, I'm going to get into this story. We now have proof that indicates that this tape of Trump talking about this Iran secrets doesn't exist. So I'm going to get into that when we get back. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful stuff. I'm so excited. I've been saving this one for the last hour. Yes, tomorrow is the president's birthday. Steve Kane Show. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, guys, I tell you, I'm not worried at all. He's going to beat this thing.
Callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Space is limited. Call 561-287-32
73255. The free screening is a $149 value. The patient and any other person responsible for payment has the right to refuse to pay, cancel payment for any other service, examination, or treatment that is performed as a result of and within 72 hours of responding to the advertisement for the free, discounted fee, or reduced fee service, examination, or treatment.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve King Show.
All right, callers on hold, stand by. You back with us, Steve? Okay. Yes.
Get to see the Gavin interview, Gavin Newsom.
I don't watch Fox News Channel, but I'm aware of it. Yes, Hannity interviewed him. Well, tell me what you saw. I can comment on your observations of the interview. But I'm not watching Fox. I'm sorry, unless Trump's on.
I found it very interesting. He's a character, and he's formidable. He's somebody who could they could very well end up in their desperate.
Really? What about the, my daughter lives in Los Angeles now, and she shows me the part on the iMaps and the Google Maps where it shows, it actually says Skid Row on the map where all those homeless people live, and it's all in red, meaning don't go there. Yeah.
Watching that I find interesting is how he does in debate, and it was an interesting debate.
Who was he debating?
He was debating Sean Hannity.
Oh, please, debating Hannity. That's not like debating Trump.
Well, I guess there's nothing to discuss. You haven't seen the interview.
Well, you can tell me about it. I just can't. I wouldn't consider that like a Trump-like debate.
Slick.
Oh yeah. He's a psycho.
There is he's a psycho. I mean, the one thing I took away from it is he's no one to be underestimated when it comes to the national.
Let me ask you this: since you saw the interview,
of all the Democrats I've seen that are currently in the so-called,
yeah,
he is by far the most formidable.
Did you Hannity ask him about the new electricity bill in California? Oh yeah. They have a bill. I would have asked him if he would sign this bill. They have a bill in the California legislature about to be passed that he would have to sign. Newsom. Every month we get our electricity bill from Florida Power and Light. They're making a change to electricity billing in California in this new bill. It's an equity change. You will pay for electricity based on your income. The more money you make, the more you pay for your electricity per kilowatt hour. And this is is he going to sign that? Yeah.
I sat down to watch it. His debate techniques, how he does in debate. Sean is
Oh, what's a tough question that Hannity asked him?
It's not a question of a tough question. It's his answers that I was looking at.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old saying that I'm quite fond of that goes back, we used to use it more in the 50s, around that era, my era. There was a phrase called the fast talker. And that's what Kevin Newsom is. He's a fast talker in that when Sean would ask him a question, he's got little formulas that he uses to ward off questions.
Mm-hmm.
For example, his number one phrase is, yes, that's true, I own that.
Oh, trying to take the sting away.
Well, it's when properly applied, it's very, very effective. Because, Sean would nail him with something, and he'd say, yes, that's true. Like the homeless thing, for example. He would say, yes, that's true. The homeless thing is terrible. It's a disgrace. I own that. So where does Sean...
You do a follow-up. On which question? On the homeless in the streets? Well, why?
I agree with you. It's a disgrace.
Then why are you not doing anything about it? In fact, you're encouraging them. Here in Florida, and Hannity lives in Palm Beach County, by the way. So in Palm Beach County here in Florida, we have a law that stops people from panhandling and also sleeping on the streets. Why don't you have a similar law in California? There's all kinds of things. I'd like to... Well, I've seen him, and he's a sociopath. Completely insane. Oh, I don't worry about him. I'd like to ask him his thoughts on so many California Democrats being infiltrated by Chinese spies. Swalwell, Feinstein, they both had Chinese spies, you know, in their orbit. You want to take some calls? Oops. Okay.
Question for you. The thing about the spies in California, he would say, yes, he agrees with Sean as a disgrace, and he's working hard to get past it.
Well, what is not a disgrace in your state? No. Okay. All right. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Carl in Columbus.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, good morning. Hey, I think Jack Smith and his crew, I think they chose the venue and they chose when to wrap up that secret grand jury in Florida based on this judge having an opening. I think they wanted her because...
Really?
I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to win.
Oh, yeah.
I think they wanted someone to blame it on, so they wanted this judge that was kind of...
That's interesting. Yeah.
I was just thinking about that this morning.
Yeah, I think that's a very good possibility. Now, I'll tell you another thing. Yeah. Now.
It's a fascinating proposal. So you're saying that they think they're not going to get an indictment?
No, they got the indictment. They think the case is not winnable, so they're taking it in front of a biased judge, so when they lose it, they can say, well, we had all the evidence, but this judge was a MAGA hack and didn't, yeah, they want to blame, yeah.
It's not that.
That's a pretty smart strategy. But I'll tell you, that's a smart strategy, and these are smart guys. We have confirmation now that they made up that story about the Trump tape where he's showing the Iranian attack plans. Well, remember the story? They've been talking about it for 2 weeks. This is part of the special prosecutor's charge that President Trump was they have tape, which no one's seen or heard, but they have tape of President Trump sharing the classified attack on Iran plans with some people. And now we have some evidence that that's a total BS story because Grassley came out. They got 17 recordings of Biden taking the bribe, right, with that informant. No, it's very related. What they're doing, they set this whole tape thing up because they knew Biden's tapes were going to come out. So they set this Trump tape story up to get a narrative going about that. So it just seemed kind of like, oh, they all have tapes. Oh, kind of matter-of-factly with Biden. That's how these snakes operate.
Biden's White House counsel, she quit, she resigned to go focus on his classified documents right before they raided Trump's house.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
You what?
What's going to happen today?
It's going to happen today at the trial.
Oh, well, I think he'll just get...
It'll be like last time. And we're not going to see it. There's no cameras in federal court. But, I'll tell you, Steve, this is a beautiful thing that's going on here. Saul Alinsky's book, I read Saul Alinsky's book when Obama got elected, right? Rules for Radicals. Saul Alinsky says, accuse your opponent of doing what you're doing. It's in Saul Alinsky's book, Rules for Radicals. I didn't make that up. And that's what they do. They accuse Trump of having this tape of Trump because they knew that there were 17 of Biden. They accuse Trump of having classified documents because they knew that Biden had them in Chinatown, in the garage, and all this stuff. So they accuse Trump of what they've done before we know what they've done, before it goes public, so it doesn't sound like a big deal when it comes. There's an old trick with wives, that wives go out and they go shop. I spent $1,000 at the mall today. And then, oh, how could you do that? Just kidding, I just spent $600. Oh, and then you're like relieved. You understand what I mean? Because it wasn't that. No, actually, Columba Bush, remember when she got caught smuggling those shoes from Italy? When she was the first lady of Florida? That was what she was doing. She was hiding them from Jeb. But that's what they do. They accuse Trump of all these things, and then you find out they're doing it. Hey, listen, Carl from Columbus, thanks for the call. All right? Listen, there's only one opening on our board at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Back after this.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in.
All right, and on the line we have your attorney, Steve, Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Barry. How you guys doing?
Great. What do you have for us today?
Well, there are a lot of things that we don't know, and we're aware that we don't know things, and then there's things that we don't even know that we don't know. A whole bunch of things out there that we have no idea that those concepts even exist. And that's why it's so important to educate ourselves on important things, because some important thing might make a big difference to us in our lives, for our families, for our finances, and our legacies. And that's why we do our estate planning seminars, and we're resuming them. We have one coming up. We just started registration this week. It's going to be June 22nd at 2 p.m. at our Boca Raton office. And it's going to cover everything you really need to know about living trust planning and estate planning to take care of you and your family. And if you or someone you know is interested, you should call our office to register to make sure you get one of the seats. It's in our office, so there's limited seating, and I suggest calling to schedule your seats right now if that's something you're interested in getting some education to take care of family and your legacy.
Absolutely, and I've been to many of these seminars with Attorney Barry Siegel. We talk to Barry Siegel all the time here on the show. We ask him all kinds of questions, and I've been to many seminars, and each time I learn something new. It's amazing how many different scenarios people and their families can run into, and Attorney Barry Siegel and the Legal Law Group have run into all of them, and it'll protect you and your family from them. Now, the seminars, one thing about these seminars, they do fill up. So you want to call and let them know that you're coming and reserve your spot. You can call Attorney Barry Siegel's office at 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week. Back after this.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, and callers on hold, stand by. There's only one opening where Attorney Barry Siegel was at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Now, I want to tell you, it's in the 90s every day now. You know, Thursday, we're going to hit 95 degrees, and we're not even really in the worst time of the summer yet. The summer heat, really, August, September, oh my goodness. And, you know, Mike Lindell, the inventor of the MyPillow, the Thomas Edison of sleep, has introduced two major upgrades to two of his signature products. And it's unbelievable, and they will keep your body the perfect temperature all summer long, no matter how hot it is. First, Mike Lindell's 3-inch mattress topper 2.0 with cooling technology. I have this mattress topper. It'll change your life. It not only turns your whole bed into a big MyPillow, you'll sleep better than you ever have before, but with the cooling technology, your body temperature will be the perfect temperature all night long. And he also has the MyPillow 2.0, which has the cooling technology, which keeps your head and face the perfect temperature all night long. There's nothing worse than being hot at night in bed when you're trying to sleep. Oh my goodness. Now you don't have to. Now the 3-inch MyPillow Mattress Topper 2.0 is 40% off with free shipping when you use our promo code KANE at checkout at MyPillow.com. And the MyPillow 2.0 is buy one, get one free with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone toll free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, let's go to our very, very busy phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
At checkout at my...
Oh, here we go. Once. Yeah, turn me down in the background. Turn me down. You can get me live.
Yeah. Okay, this time my name is Jay from Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Nay. Okay, so we remember that. I wasn't even gonna call you today, but you know you're an idiot, and I gotta tell you. You just said about Bill Barr. Bill Barr, you broke it down how guilty he is because they got this and they got that and they got the tape. And now you can honestly say to me that the men that's prosecuting Donald Trump made a 37 indictment, and they included that they say that they have a tape. Do you think that they're little kids playing peekaboo and don't realize if they have a tape or not?
Mm-hmm.
How dumb does it sound for you to say that they would put it in the indictment?
Well, you know, Democrat. Okay, I'm glad. Jay from Jersey. I'm glad you asked about how can the legal system be corrupt, and I'm glad, being a black man in America, how did the legal system handle the killers of Medgar Evers?
Are you a dummy or what?
He doesn't even want to say it. The Democrats not guilty for murderers. There's a history of Democrats fixing the legal system to convict innocent people of crimes and acquit the guilty. You know this.
Problem is with you. You're telling all these people that everything in the indictment is made up and is not true.
Correct.
You be telling them people those lies.
Well, first of all, in America, everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So no matter, even OJ, when he was on trial, was presumed innocent. He was guilty as could be. But everyone is presumed innocent.
Why would you tell them there's no tape when they said when it's in the indictment? Why would you say that?
Because of the Presidential Records Act.
Would you get up in front of the whole world and tell them you got a tape, put it in the indictment? These are smart men, and then don't have it.
Sure. Sure.
We ain't got a lick of sense sometimes.
Sure. Then why haven't we seen the tape?
Yeah, they can't put it in the indictment.
Sure they can.
Sure
they can. Sure they can. Sure they can.
They,
First off, we don't know a tape exists. They could have a statement from. I remember Tom Arnold, this snake Tom Arnold, who used to be married to Roseanne Barr. He used to go around saying he had a tape of Trump saying the N-word. I never heard that tape either. People, they could have a witness. They could have a witness that they intimidated who said that there's a tape, and not have it. Just have a witness who says there's a tape, like Tom Arnold and his lie about the N-word tape.
Okay, do you know how big this is that nut is being arrested today? You know how big this is? This is worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
The nut is being arrested today, and you think that they would actually take him in there, arrest this nut, and they don't even...
Well, a lot of times what cops do, and this is law enforcement, what prosecutors and cops do, oftentimes when they don't have evidence and they have a suspect, they tell a suspect they have all kinds of evidence to try to get the suspect to make a deal or to confess.
Talk about the idiot that was the president of the United States. We're not talking about
Renee, I hate to break up this.
My name ain't Renee, Mister.
Whatever it is, whatever your name is, I have a quick.
His name's Mr. Tibbs, Steve.
Yeah,
they call me Mr. Tibbs. Oh, that's who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Listen,
that's why I call you both idiots. Go ahead.
You can call
Mr. Tibbs.
me anything you want to.
And you
I just want to know. I want to know what you feel about the new tapes that were announced yesterday for Congress.
17 of them.
Biden taking a bribe on
Okay. Okay, let me give you the honest opinion of that. Now,
don't lie to me.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If Biden is on tape taking a bribe, he needs to go to jail the same way that this man is.
All right, well, we finally agree on something. All right.
Okay.
Thank you for your call.
Yeah, on that note, where do you go from there? That's great. You want to end that one on a high note. When he just said, Mr. Tibbs there, he just said that's right. He should go in prison.
Even to the most warped liberal mind, they listen to the Steve and Brian show long enough,
That's right.
and come through.
That's right.
See the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Realizes that if they've got all these, and they do, by the way. That's the big story.
17 of them.
15 are with
Yep.
2 with Biden's.
Yep, Joe. 15 with Hunter and 2 with Joe. Yeah.
Video cassettes. These are. I don't think they're video cassettes. I think they're
Audio tape. It's audio.
tapes. But it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. They got them. They know they got them, and it's a turning point in the case.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. All right. To Trump's second inauguration. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, good morning. This is Barbara in Baltimore. I just like to say, Mr. Tibbs really sounds stupid. Great minds think alike. I don't know where this guy comes from with that crap that he's talking about. You know, it gets on my nerves when I hear black people sound so ignorant. No, because I'm black. I'm black. We're supposed to be able to reason. We're supposed to, at this point in history, have some rational ability to think, okay, and put 2 and 2 together. As for lying, who said they had something? Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is the biggest example of someone who lied and said he had information in.
That's right.
I'm looking at everybody in front of the world, and he was lying. So, you know, take all that crap and shit.
By the way, Barbara, over the weekend, Steve, Barbara here did an audition at a radio station in Baltimore. I heard your show, Barbara. I just didn't tell you. I didn't want to make you nervous. You did very good. You did a very good job.
Oh, my goodness. And,
you did.
Mick told me that you did.
Yeah.
I did hear all of my bad habits, so I'm going to learn how to inhale instead of.
Well, don't tell people on the air your bad habits. Then that's all they will hear. But you did pretty good for your first show. You did much better. You did a lot better than Alec Baldwin when he tried to do that talk show, that radio show in Boston years ago. Go listen to that. So no, Barbara, you did all right. You did all right. Yeah. You know what you need to do as a black conservative? You need to troll for caller. You need to have white liberals call in and tell you how bad it is to be black in America. Have white liberals call you, since you're black and conservative, and tell you how bad it is to be black in America. I'd love to hear it. That'd be good. I'm serious. All right, take care, Barbara. All right, take care. No, she did a lot better than I did my first time on the radio, Steve. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Callers on hold. Stand by. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve King Show with Brian Craig.
Did any of you ever hear Alec Baldwin's audition? Oh my goodness. I like Mr. Do you guys like calling him Mr. Tibbs? They call me Mr. Tibbs. Yeah, she's a very good caller. Yeah, she did good. See, this thing with Alec Baldwin, if you find this online, what happened with Alec Baldwin, the board op was screwing with him and wouldn't put any calls through, and he's dying on the air, and he didn't know what was going on. He figured I'm Alec Baldwin, so it's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm looking at this up.
He made the mistake of telling people he was going to do it before he did it. So Sean Hannity got together with the board op and didn't put any calls through.
Also, it was like a little team.
So he's dying on the air, and he can't get calls. And he's never done it, so if he doesn't have calls, he doesn't know what to do, because it's not, it's hilarious. It was hilarious. I know. Board ops have the most powerful person at a radio. People don't know. They don't know. I tell Mike all these board op stories that we have. Oh, I know. We got crazy board op stories. Yeah, look that up online, the Alec Baldwin radio show. It's hilarious.
After we finish with the show today,
yeah. There's only like a couple clips of it. It's not the whole show. It's like but you can hear him dying. Yeah, exactly. It's hilarious. Now, the board op didn't know that Alec Baldwin, shoots people dead at the time. So if it was after Alec Baldwin killed that woman, the board op may not have done that. Let me see if I can find it.
Finally, over the weekend, Alec Baldwin filled in as a...
Oh, yes, this is it. I think I got it. Let me see.
host on a local Philadelphia radio station. He got off to a
Oh,
rough
Philadelphia.
start, and pretty soon he was talking about my friend, Sean Hannity.
When can we take some calls, Ivan?
Oh, this is hilarious. I want to play when we get back. This is hilarious.
40 years of experience help you. We carry top brands like New Balance, Hoka, Brooks, SAS, Birkenstock, and more. Don't forget our in-house shoe repair services as well. Come to Noble Shoes in Palm Beach Gardens and Delray Beach. Call 842-7400. That's 842-7400. And stay mobile at Noble.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to...
I'm going to play it when we get back. I'm going to play that Alec Baldwin thing when we get back. It's funny. You don't have to look for it. I'll play it. This is hilarious. I love this. Everybody thinks doing a radio show is easy. No, what I was telling Barbara, when you have a bad habit, like she was talking about something that she has that's a bad habit, never talk about it. Because if you point it out, that's all people will hear. So... I don't know who told her to breathe in or breathe out. I don't know. I just do what I normally do. I don't pay attention to breathing.
Brian Craig here. I've been telling you about how my chiropractor, Dr. Philip Appleton, has rid me of pain from a knee injury and arthritis pain with his laser wave pain treatment. But don't just take my word for it. This is one of our callers who called me live on the radio to tell me how chiropractic physician Dr. Philip Appleton helped him with his laser wave pain treatment. You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Sean, calling from Boca Raton. I want to thank you guys once again. I've listened to this show since the mid-'80s. Thank you for introducing me to Dr. Appleton, Brian and Steve. I went in last week and you taught one session. I feel so much better. I brought my mother there yesterday. She has a problem with her right side or her arm. She's right-handed. She feels better. It's amazing. And for people
All right, come back after this.
believe me, there is an alternative. Go in there for the free consultation. F-R-E-E, free. You will lose. The only thing you'll lose is the pain that you're dealing with. Do not suffer. Go in to see Dr. Appleton, the greatest visit of your life.
Give Dr. Appleton a call right now. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com. Open Monday through Saturday. Appointments not necessary. And walk-ins are welcome. 954-973-0710.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show. With Brian Craig, celebrating 46 years on the...
All right, we're back. Steve, I pulled up the Alec Baldwin. I'll do it. Callers on hold, stand by. This is quick, but... Now, Alec Baldwin is always been a liberal. He filled in on the radio. This was in Philadelphia. I thought it was Philadelphia. And this is when he was a movie star. So he was like a top A-list movie star at the time. And he died on the air. Everyone thinks doing this is easy. And I know we make it look easy, but it's just because we're very good at what we do, and it seems easy when, when you're listening and following a maestro, it always, it looks easy.
People to call in, and our listeners, we turned the show, an hour of the show over to them.
Oh, that was beautiful.
To come in for, to
host the show,
do a monologue in the first half hour, and then just take calls. And they did pretty good sometimes with the half hour they
Half hour. It seemed like half an hour. It's more like 30 seconds.
hour was what they prepared.
Yeah.
And then they were supposed to go to the phone.
Oh, you mean the pre-written monologues they would do, the scripts? Yeah, they would write scripts. Yes.
For the beginning of the next hour, they would go to the phones, and there were no calls, and they were out of things to say, and they were sitting there looking at us with that look in their eyes, like, how do I get out of this?
Yeah. So this clip you're going to hear, this is actually from Hannity and Combs. You're going to hear the late Alan Combs, who I miss Alan Combs. You were friends with Alan Combs. But you'll hear Alan Combs do a bit of an intro. Then you'll hear Alec Baldwin die on the air.
Finally, over the weekend, Alec Baldwin filled in as a guest host on a local Philadelphia radio station. He got off to a rough start, and pretty soon he was talking about my friend, Sean Hannity.
When can we take some calls, Adam?
Whenever we want.
Do we have calls that are on there now?
No calls yet. No calls.
No calls yet. What number do people call to get on the air? Do we have that number?
It's right there.
No, do I have the call number in front of me? Oh, I'm so sorry. That's interesting. Interesting.
Got nothing
Any
to say.
calls yet there, Evan? No calls. Let's read some more about Scientology. Is Sean Hannity a Scientologist? Alec Baldwin posing the big questions tonight here. Do we have any calls here yet, Ivan? None. Boy, it's just incredible.
Okay. Now, obviously, I'll help Alec out here a little bit. Obviously, the board op was sabotaging him and not putting calls through. There's no way that an A-list movie star at the time couldn't get calls on the air. He was being sabotaged. Hannity probably promised him he could move to New York and board op there and get out of Philly if he did this to Alec Baldwin. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now, the board op didn't know that Alec Baldwin, shot and killed people at the time. So if this was after Rust, he probably... Yeah, well, he would go on to do it. If this were after he shot that woman dead on the set of Rust, I don't think the board op would have sabotaged Alec Baldwin. But that never gets... By the way, it goes on for 12 minutes. I just played a couple of highlights there. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. This is Sean, Riverside, California. How you doing over there in Florida?
All right.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, I'm kind of doing a social call in that I want to give you props for having Laura Loomer on. And this, it'll kind of go back around to Jay Tibbs or whatever his name was. Loomer, a while back when Trump was getting his feet, she exposed the inconsistencies with the FBI's narrative about the unfortunate Las Vegas shooting and how they were lying about that back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And where the memory can go back a little further, Dr. King's family found, I believe it was FBI involvement in the killing of Dr. Martin Luther King. So if you are a person of color, a minority, or someone who has a memory, you'll remember it.
Well, the thing about all those stories that you ever have heard that were negative about Martin Luther King, there's that he had a white woman in every city that he went to that he had sex with. That's all BS made up by the FBI. Yeah. It's true.
No, let me... You're a little off on it, but the little bit makes a difference. What they found out was that the FBI had a file on Martin Luther King. That is not to say that everything in the file was made up, because as a matter of fact, some of the thing you're talking about with his girl, having a white girlfriend or whatever it was, happened to be a true story.
No, it was not, Steve. No. And it's the documentaries are based on the law that the FBI was so good at this. See, back in the 60s when Martin Luther King was changing the world, okay, it was the worst. A lot of white people were supporting Martin Luther King, but they didn't like the idea of a black man having sex with white women. In fact, it was illegal in the Democrat South back then. And J. Edgar Hoover was so clever at starting that false narrative that it's become part of the historical record, but it was a lie. I
was going to tell you about this. I shouldn't do this now. There's a lady who's written a book on Hoover. I'm trying to remember her name.
Yeah, there's a new book out about Hoover.
She's a great speaker, and I wanted to get her as a guest for the show. We got to figure out who she is.
I know the book, as I was going to get the book. It's called Masters of Deceit is the name of it. It's a new book about Hoover.
Absolutely.
But Steve, just because, listen, people write books about Trump. It's all filled with lies. People write, lies sell books. But the FBI has been running false narratives against a lot of people that were threatening to the powers that be. And King was one of them. Trump's another.
That does not mean, it is not the same thing as to say that everything in J. Edgar Hoover's files was false.
I'm not saying everything, but the thing about Martin Luther King with white women, I believe. Anyway, Colin, what else do you have?
If you want to say that's what you believe, that's fine. But,
I don't want to.
Go ahead.
I don't want to step over Steve. Steve, both of you are correct to a degree. Ted Gunderson confessed that, yes, he did the COINTELPRO, and while King did sleep around a little bit, the way they conducted themselves was out of line because they went to the wife, they tried to break up his family.
Oh, no, hold on. Martin Luther King, okay, when Martin Luther King was assassinated, he was with his mistress, one of his mistresses, okay? She's black. No, I didn't say he didn't have any mistresses. He did, but they were black. They were not white. Okay, so they took the mistress story. Hoover changed the skin color to try to turn public opinion against King. Yeah, it was, yeah.
I've heard about that. Laura Loomer's investigative reporting and stuff. Those circles are kind of more my forte. What I'm into is doing deep dives on this stuff. So while she was twittering about the Vegas incident, for example, I was replying and going back and forth and getting likes from her on my feed because I work in security, and I'm telling her, hey, all this stuff, stinks. Like the security there was not certain.
Well, listen, that interview that I did with Laura Loomer that you guys heard in the last hour, a very interesting big thing came out. It was very high profile that she confronted Comey last week at that bookstore out in California, right? Everybody, you guys saw it. It was crazy. She was, not only was she removed, she was detained by the police. They let her go. But what she said in that interview, she got a call from the Washington Post that she was in the Homeland Security watch list, okay? They didn't tell her. The Washington Post knew before Loomer knew that she was on the Homeland Security watch list. So Comey, see, I believe Comey is up to his eyeballs still in this war they have against Trump, even though he's not So look what Comey did. He got embarrassed by Loomer. Next thing you know, she's on the Homeland Security watch list. She just, and the newspaper finds out before her. Comey's a big leaker to the papers. That's how he rolls.
For the course, if you speak truth to power, you call someone out to their face with their lies, then the next thing they do is they turn around, they try to flag you as being a domestic.
Yep. Hey, listen, thanks for the call. Great call. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Tom, Florida.
Hey.
Oh yeah. So Looney Loomer, what's her name?
Well, you have an opinion on her, so you must know her name. If you have such a negative opinion, how can you have a negative opinion on someone you don't know?
No, I mean, because I remember she ran for something a while ago in West Palm. I'm trying to get the.
She ran for Congress and lost.
Okay. Yeah, she's a conspiracy theorist, not that girl.
Really? What conspiracy does she support that's not true?
Oh gosh, there's not enough time on your.
Just mention one of them in a sentence. Give me one of her nutty conspiracy theories that is untrue. Just one of them in a sentence.
Oh my God, I've heard her go off about January 6th.
So you got nothing. You got nothing. You're just throwing out random things now.
January 6th. She's a.
No, she's not. No, she's not. No, she's not. You're just making stuff up now. Listen, we're up against the Gold Report. I can put you on hold. Do you have something? Yeah, I'm sure. Of course you will. Don't you have to be at work? No, I don't have to be at work. I love it. All right, we'll be right back.
Hard Truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9.
All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
index came out and moved them quite dramatically, very quickly. Yesterday we saw gold close down $3.20 at $1,957.50 the ounce. Silver closed down 22 cents at $24.05, while platinum was down $16 at $9.92, and palladium was up $28 at $1,324. This morning we saw gold trading in a range overnight from $1,949, and then after the CPI index came out, ran up all the way to $1,972, which was up about $14. Right now it's settled back down to about $1,963. That's up $5.50. Silver's up 15 cents right now at $24.20 the ounce. Platinum's down $2 at $990, and palladium at $1,351, up $27. So gold holding very nicely above that $1,950. Every time it gets down there, they keep running right back up again. And right now, like I said, we've traded in the range up to $1,972 so far this morning.
Yeah, looking good. Now, Father's Day is on Sunday. What are some of the great things you have over at your store, William Youngerman, that would make great Father's Day gifts that people can get some good bargains on, too?
Sure, we've got all kinds of interesting, of course, bullion objects, gold, silver, platinum, coins, bars, and then, of course, all kinds of jewelry that fathers can wear. And you have to ask to see our jewelry because it's wholesale only. So we do that for our Steve Kane listeners. So we will pull it out. Just ask for, tell us you're a Steve Kane listener, and you do get our wholesale jewelry department in the last for
Absolutely.
personal.
You know, some of the things you had mentioned today is a lot of times people like to buy coins that have a birth year on them for Dad. That's a really cool thing. There's all kinds of things. Just call or stop in, and if you can stop in, because it's a museum over there. You're going to be blown away by what you see, and the jewelry that William Youngerman has is amazing. And it's priced where you're going to be able to afford things you probably wouldn't be able to afford somewhere else. You'll be able to get it at William Youngerman's. He opens up at 10 a.m. He's located at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. Online at williamyoungerman.com or give him a call. Remember, he opens up at 10 a.m. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, back after this. All right, we are back. You know, just a little bit ago, I didn't mention this because I was saving it for the spot, guys, but just a little bit ago, I got a notification there was someone at my door. And I just looked down to see who was there, you know, because I got that doorbell camera, you know, which is absolutely amazing. And you guys, you want to call Sloman's. You know, Sloman's is absolutely amazing because, you know, you hear us talk a lot about all the equipment that comes with your home security system from Sloman's. And it's a lot of equipment. And you can go online, you can buy all this stuff, but what do you do with it? How do you know how to use it? How do you know how to set it up right? When you call Sloman's, they actually send a person to come to your home, to meet with you, to talk with you, to look over your home, to find out what you have, what you need, and what would work best for you and your needs. And you can't do that by going to the internet. You want to deal with an actual person because you're talking about the security of your home, of yourself, of your family, and talking to a person is what makes it happen. Give them a call. Their number, 833-283-5050, 1-833-283-5050. That's 1-833-283-5050. By the way, the Sloman's Home Security System also makes a great gift for your kids. All right, let's go back to the phone, Steve. The phone. Oh, I was holding Tom over. I'd forgotten which line Tom was on. Well, he doesn't have anywhere to go. I'll try. I forgot what line Tom was on. Sorry, Tom. You're on the air. Is this Tom?
No problem, Sunshine. I'm still here for you.
Sunshine? What team are you on?
Oh, my God. Because you brighten up my day.
Steve, he just called me Sunshine. Is that gay? That sounds gay. I did not know. Now I know why you don't like Trump. Strong man.
O'Brien, that twisting things the way that you.
You called me, Steve. Steve, have you ever heard a man call another man sunshine before?
It's used in the context you mentioned.
Yeah, gay. Yeah, gay. Hey, listen, Tom, it's okay. We're tolerant. We do not judge people based on who they choose to love.
Hey, your opinion on whether or not, that's fine.
What would be? There's nothing wrong with being gay, Tom. Nothing.
You ready for this? I was calling to say this. Today, Donald Trump is going to be, no, not in handcuffs, but a ring. Now, the situation that we're in, I would like to know your opinion and Steve's opinion when Donald Trump got up and told everybody how he's going to start handling classified documents, how he's going to make documents so secure, no problem, right? He said that. Stood up and said, I'm going to be the president that's going to handle everything the most proper, the most correct. Do you remember that speech?
No, but I'll take your word for it.
Okay. That I wish I had time to Google it. I could.
We'll take your good word for it, Tom. Yeah, go ahead, finish. And
why would he be hypocritical? Okay, and go ahead and say that, and then go ahead and do something like that.
But what did he do? What did he do?
Oh my gosh. The 42-page indictment that's happening today. That's supposedly what.
Supposedly, he didn't do it.
But you don't even know.
Brian, hey, Brian.
You don't know what's in there.
Brian,
why are you pretending you know what?
Steve, he's hysterical. He outed himself, and he's upset.
Brian, anybody can read the document right now.
Well, you've read it, so tell us what he did.
Second off, you ready for this? Everybody is presumed innocent until they're found guilty. You just said that a little.
Proven guilty in a court of law, yeah.
I get hysterical because of the regurgitation of the, simple.
Hysterical is, hysterical is a no, I'm going to answer the question, but hysterical is a feminine term. You understand that. Men don't get hysterical.
You must love my voice. You must love me because you are. This must be the fifth time that you have recommended that some sort of gayness is coming at me. Why don't you open up, pal, and get what the word you want?
I'm not calling grown men sunshine.
I've heard your wife's voice before. Believe me, mine would sound pleasant compared to hers. So
Really? So now you want to talk about my wife's voice? You know what? Listen. You know what he's trying to get hung up on, but you know what it is? You know what it is, Steve? He's jealous of my wife. She has what he wants, me.
Exactly.
All right, Tom. Take care. Oh my goodness. Why are all the people in the audience that have a thing for me men? I never really had all the problems I've had are with men. I guess.
Overnight, give us a report.
Let me tell you. Steve will tell you. Over the years, I've had a long line of obsessed gay men harassing me. It's been, I'm not kidding. I know. What can you do? All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning, caller. Hey, turn the volume down of whatever you're listening to us on in the background.
Oh, Lord, I'm listening to you, babe.
I know, but there's a delay, so there's an echo.
Brian, I am in hell here with my husband, who's extremely smart. Extremely smart. Until he listened to that DeSantis book on tape. Now, that's all I hear is DeSantis this, DeSantis that. Look into that camera, Brian.
You know what you need? You need a new husband. That's what you need.
Oh, no, he's a wonderful...
What do you know? What are you telling me? That your husband listened to Ron DeSantis' book and now what? He's with DeSantis?
No, he's still going to vote for Trump. But all I hear is all these little things. DeSantis this, DeSantis that. Oh, he's a good guy. He's in...
Well, give me an example of something. Give me an example of something that he says about DeSantis that you think he's wrong about. I don't know. I need some more information than that. Oh, put your husband on the phone. Why don't you put your husband on the phone?
Oh, here he is. His name's Dave.
Dave, are we going to talk to Dave, Steve, the DeSantis lover? Put Dave on the phone. All right, Dave, your wife's calling us to do an intervention. She says you talk about DeSantis too much. Tell us about Ron DeSantis.
Well, actually, I think he's in line. Most of his opinions are in line with Trump's. See a debate. I'd like to see a debate because I honestly believe it would turn into a farce.
Because time is growing short here, let me just tell you the difference between, the major difference, between DeSantis and Trump. Trump has been there and he's done it on all these things. And if you watch this, in all his speeches from now on, every speech, he identifies a problem we're dealing with, whether it's the border, whether it's the budget and inflation and everything, and he points out to the fact that it wasn't a problem when he left office because he had straightened it out. He performs, delivers. DeSantis talks.
Let me play you a soundbite caller of Ron DeSantis, okay? This is yesterday. He's talking about Donald Trump's Supreme Court picks.
You're going to make the same kind of pledge to the Republicans as you go around the country that your judges will be like the Trump judges?
Well, actually, I would say we'll do better than that. I mean, I respect the three appointees he did, but none of those three are at the same level of Justices Thomas and Justice Alito.
Okay. No. He says that Alito and Clarence Thomas are better judges than Trump's appointees. Well, he's pointing to the Bush judges. He likes the Bush. Trump's judges overturned Roe v. Wade, okay, which is saving millions of babies' lives. Okay, but I want to play a second clip. This is Ron DeSantis before he was governor when he was sucking up to Trump. So yesterday he told Hugh Hewitt, that's what that clip was from, that his picks were not, he's going to have better picks than Trump, that George Bush 1 and George Bush 2, their Supreme Court picks were the best, not Trump's picks. This is DeSantis a couple years ago. Listen.
I think that Donald Trump has done a better job appointing judges to both the U.S. Supreme Court and the Appeals Court than any other president in my lifetime, including one of my heroes, Ronald Reagan.
So what happened? He said that Donald Trump appointed better judges than any other president in his lifetime. Now he's saying that Bush 1 and 2 appointed better.
Out of both sides of his mouth, wouldn't you?
I'll tell you what, I admire the fact that he kept the state open through the pandemic.
Well, that's not true. The state was not open during the pandemic. We opened up earlier than other states, but our beaches were closed, our theme parks were closed. Florida was closed. Restaurants, businesses were closed. That's not true. Do you live in Florida?
No, sir.
Oh, well, we do. I'm in Florida. Steve and I are in Florida. Florida was shut down too. Disney World, everything was shut down. Beach, you couldn't go to the beach. Beaches were shut down. In fact, not only were the beaches shut down, Ron DeSantis canceled spring break and told spring breakers if they came to Florida, they'd get run off. Hey, listen, go take care of your wife, okay? You guys are don't let Ron DeSantis split up a happy marriage, all right? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Dave in Newmarket, Virginia.
Hey, Dave.
David.
Hey, how you guys doing? I like Trump because he can just stop and talk to anybody about anything. And when he went into McDonald's and started talking to people, I thought right away, I said, well, you'll never see Joe Biden do that because there's a lot of McDonald's that don't even serve ice cream anymore. Never see him do that.
Okay, I don't quite get that. I kind of get what I really, no, I don't get that, actually. Do you get that, Steve? I don't either. No, oh, okay. I get that part. The not funny part, I got that part. But it was a good try. We got to do it in just a few seconds. We're almost out of time.
Find Slow News Day, which is going to be possible.
Good luck.
About some of the rifts in intimate relationships between husbands and wives that have occurred because of this election. Because I got to tell you, I'm running into it in my family.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, well, we only have a few seconds left. Now, listen, we're at, oh, yeah, that'll be good. Now, tomorrow is President Trump's birthday. So tomorrow, I think we'll keep the phones open tomorrow for anyone that has a birthday message for the president tomorrow. That's not going to be the main topic, but if you want to wish President Trump a happy birthday, you can do it right here tomorrow. Listen, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. If you hang in there, you'll be first in line tomorrow morning. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve's here. God bless Donald Trump. See you tomorrow.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys, I got to run. Thanks for watching. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and like the video before you go, guys. All right? See ya.